Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for a massive game in the November internationals. I almost said July, but of course we're almost at the end of 2024. Scotland versus South Africa. Now this game has been talked about all weekend, and it is the last game of the November internationals for today, and it's going to be a big one. Like I said, Scotland in their starting lineup, Pierre Schoolman, Ewan Ashman, and Xander Fagerson make up the front row, so not really too many surprises across this whole Scottish four-pack. Grant Gilchrist and Scott Cummings will be the two in the locking duo, with Matt Fagerson at 6, Rory Darge at number 7, and Jack Dempsey slotting in at number 8. Now, it's going to be hugely important that these three muscle up. They do it all throughout the season for the Glasgow Warriors. They are up against the green and gold here, and they have to start well in this 80 minutes. Ben White and Finn Russell will be the 9-10 combination. Russell returning after not playing in last week's game up against Fiji. Sione Tuipulotu, the captain, at number 12. Hugh Jones on the outside at number 13. And then Duan van der Merwe out on the left. Blair Kinghorn moves on to the right. That is due to the injury that we saw of Darcy Graham after scoring 4 tries up against Fiji last week. Tom Jordan, he then moves to number 15. Looking through at the South African lineup, Rassie really mixing and matching overall with his squad. Oxnashad, Bongio Manambi, and Thomas Detoy at number 3 with no Frans Malherbe. It meant there was going to be that change at 3, and Thomas Detoy, the man who gets the privilege of starting in this match. Emily Etzebeth at number 4, and the return of Franco Moster at 5. We did see Ruan Nokia ruled out earlier on in the week, which meant that there was always going to be a change in that 5 jersey. They had the options like Arges Neyman, who has never actually started a game with Eben Etzebeth, so instead Mostert does get the nod. Marco van Staden starting at 6, Eldrick Lowe at 7, and Quagga Smith in his 50th test match as the number 8. That was probably the obvious choice in terms of who was going to be starting, but Marco van Staden at 6 as well as Lowe at 7, certainly not something that many people saw coming. Jaden Hendrickson will be playing at 9 with Andre Pollard slotting in as the 10, Andre Esterhuizen and Lukanya Wam in the midfield, and then Makazole Mapimpi out on the left, Kanan Moody out on the right, and Willie LaRue at number 15. Now, this is his 98th test match, which means if he plays all the games throughout the November internationals, he will bring up his 100, which might be all that LaRue does get. But looking through at the chat, a lot of people are, of course, excited about this game, as Scots will stand up to the box forwards. Will be a close first half, says Mark McDonald. And, of course, a lot of people have said about this first half how it might be hard to split the sides, but the last 20 minutes, we need to mention the bench. 7-1 split for the Springboks. I mean, Scotland, we even need to mention their bench. They went 6-2 for this game, wanting to bring that physicality later on in the contest. But for South Africa, Malcolm Marx, Gerhard Stennekamp, and Vincent Koch as the front row replacements. Arges Neyman, he is back for the Springboks. Sia Khaleesi at 20. Peter Steph Detoy at number 21, and Jasper Wiese at 22. That is a lot of experience. That is a lot of skill for later on in this game. And it's up to these guys who are in the starting lineup to get the start that the Springboks are after. Ideally, when these men make their way onto the field, the Springboks will want to be up by 10 or so. And then they can really push to work it towards maybe even upwards of 25. But if Scotland can keep it close, and if they can even build a lead before the South Africans use their bench, that is when they will be under a lot more pressure, and that's when the mistakes can come. But Grant Williams, he is the lone back replacement for this game. He is there as the number 23. For Scotland, it is Dylan Richardson, Rory Sutherland, and then at number 18, Miller Mills. Max Williamson at 19 with Bayliss at 20, and then Jamie Ritchie, the other man in their replacement forwards, Jamie Dobie alongside Stafford McDowell as the 2 back replacements. But overall, 2 great sides on paper. Like I said, Darcy Graham not playing. They'll be a little bit disappointed about it because he could have been an absolute game changer here. But then South Africa, overall, Rassie sounds pretty confident in terms of the selection that he's gone with. I think we'll see a very different looking side in the next match up against the English. Definitely because England now suffering yet again another defeat by a thin margin. So I think this is going to be a really entertaining game, and I hope they both play well. That's the one thing that we want, a great finish to a great rugby weekend. We've seen upsets. We've seen the Southern Hemisphere at the moment flourish. they have managed to pull off a majority of the wins. Fiji just beating Wales. In fact, we have got the results that we've seen so far. We saw Australia A playing Bristol in a 10-all draw for the very first match. We saw New Zealand pull off the win up against the Irish, which then bumped South Africa into the #1 spot in the world. 23 points to 13, a rainy night at the Aviva. New Zealand will take it every day of the week. Chile, brilliant win over the Canadians, 44 points to 14. The Spanish won up against Uruguay. And at the moment, I would say match of the weekend. England versus Australia, 42 points to 37. There were 19 clean breaks combined in that game, about 50 defenders beaten. It was entertaining from start to finish and went right down to the wire. Portugal just came up short up against the USA. That's a pretty big win for America there, seeing as Portugal have been talked about as one of the evolving and upcoming nations when it comes to their rugby. Romania beating the Tongans, Argentina beating the Italians comfortably, and then France doing the same up against the Japanese. And of course, like I said, the most recent game that we saw was Wales when they were taking on the Fijians. Fiji get their first ever win in Cardiff. Looking at what South Africa did throughout the Rugby Championship, of course, they did win the whole competition, only suffering, I believe it was the one loss in that whole comp, and that was the one up against Argentina, 29 points to 28. Normally it is the Boks who are the specialists at the 1-point margin, and that one loss Boomers managed to get the job done, but they beat Australia twice, they beat New Zealand twice, and then came back in that second game up against Argentina and proved just how dangerous they can be with a 48 points to 7 win. But looking through at the chat, we've got a donation from Kerr as well. Panthers for the win. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated for your generosity. I have also got a donation goal on this live stream, ladies and gents, and that is the one for an extra 30 minutes of build-up next week for South Africa versus England. We've already got a relatively long one planned, but if we do reach that goal, we will put an extra 30 minutes on top of that so that we have plenty of time to look through at the stats. Welcome, Hamish. Nice to see you again from South Africa, says Delvine. Welcome in. Hope you are keeping well. Wales hasn't been good for a while, says Suckabully. Yeah, it was one of those games that they really should have been able to win. Fiji, their discipline let them down, but Wales also falling suit to that. And it's something that these two sides, if they were slightly watching that game out of the corner of their eye, you're in that scenario. You can't afford to give away penalties in this game. Something that South Africa, I mean, at times throughout the Rugby Championship, they didn't give away a lot of penalties, but they did get a lot of cards at times. So that's the last thing that they want in this game. Hamish, the plus side on my side. I can take a pee break. You, on the other hand, never take a break. How do you do it? I don't mix up the water bottle under the table with the yellow one. Says one beer Bosch. It was great, but they were the worst Six Nations team this year. Score was way close, or way too close for comfort for that Wales versus a Fiji game. And Wales versus Fiji was just breathtaking and crazy great by Fiji, says Dylan Rodrickson. South Africa will have a chance to lose this game, says Martin N. So, of course, while we are here, only about 20 minutes away from the start of this contest, I would love to know, ladies and gents, what is your score prediction going into this contest? Seeing the teams, seeing what's been selected in that 7-1 split off the bench, does it give you a lot of confidence for the Springboks in this game? Or do you think that Scotland can make this one a lot closer? Of course, they are representing the Northern Hemisphere for this game. At the end of the day, a lot of the other southern sides have pulled off the win. But just quickly on the world rankings calculator as well, for anyone who is wondering about what can happen here for these two sides, Scotland have the potential of really pushing themselves up if they can somehow pull off the win here. So just theoretically, if Scotland were to win this game, New Zealand would go to #1 in the world, Scotland would go up to 6th, and South Africa would drop down to 3rd in the overall world rankings. If South Africa were to win this game, they would remain #1 and would have quite a nice hefty lead of over 1 point ahead of New Zealand. If they were to win it comfortably, they can get themselves an extra 0.23. So there is a lot more for Scotland to gain from this game, as they are currently sitting in 6th, so they would keep their 6th spot, but they can close the gap a little bit more with Argentina and really make a push towards that top by the end of November. What's the weather like before I give the score prediction, says Graham? At the moment, it looks pretty nice by the looks of it. They interviewed Rassi Erasmus a little bit earlier on and the sun was out, I don't think the rain is expected at Murrayfield, at least not a huge amount anyway. So it should be a dry game of rugby, which is great news because, I mean, we saw that one between Ireland alongside New Zealand, and the weather really impacted how that one did turn out. Another 80 minutes of drama, mate. I'm watching game live on TV, but watching you too. Like your commentary, very respectful. Says Elijah, thank you very much, mate. And of course, we are going to be back with plenty more action next week. They are just showing the last 5 results for South Africa. We showed the last 6 just before from that rugby championship. But in terms of what is coming up as well, South Africa, I apologise for how small this is, by the way. There's so many games that are all happening next weekend. South Africa are playing England. That is at 6:40 a.m. New Zealand time. That will be a 7:40 p.m. game in South Africa. And that's a big one because the thing is, either South Africa will be coming in with a bundle of momentum and doing very well for themselves in this game, or we could see 2 sides that have lost their previous fixture going head-to-head, and then we'll get to see who's the hungrier side. Rassi, he'll have a very different side for that matchup. We aren't seeing Jesse Creel in this contest. No Damien Dialendi. No, I mean, you could look at Apalele Fasi, Kurtley Arendse, Chisel and Colby, all those guys. We will see, I would assume, Peter Steph Toy and whatnot in the starting lineup rather than making their way off the bench. Yeah, to start that weekend next week, Ireland versus Argentina, and then following many more games all throughout the evening. But I think the big 2 have to be those ones. England versus South Africa, then followed by France versus New Zealand. We get to see 2 games that did happen throughout the Rugby World Cup. New Zealand having their opening loss to the French in the World Cup, and then, of course, England and South Africa playing off in the semi-final. But we're only down to only about 18 minutes to the start of this game. Of the odds for New Zealand, the T20 have gone from $10 to $5.50. Says Novmum, enjoy the commentary. You are the best. Greetings from South Africa. I just want a great game and don't mind who wins. Says Penelope there. And -7 here in Alberta, the northmost outpost of the Springbok Nation. Tell you what, -7 is a bit chilly. Like, we're 8 degrees at the moment here, and that's actually quite warm for us compared to some of the temperatures we've had recently. How did the All Blacks XV go? They did win their game relatively comfortably, about a 20-point margin in the end for the AB's XV over Georgia. Started a lot closer, but then they kind of wore down that Georgian forward pack. Got themselves the big win. I wish Scotland would load the bench with 6 backs. They have more strength there, and I think it would be interesting to combat Bomb Squad that way. Their forwards aren't strong enough, so worth a try. And I have a bit of a trivia question, and I don't actually know the answer, so that's why it's trivia, but then I guess it's just a question. Has there been a side, I know we talk a lot about a 6-2 and a 7-1, has the side ever gone with a 4-4? 4 forwards, 4 backs? Is that a thing that's ever been tried in a game of rugby? Could that be something? Honestly, I think if anyone's going to do it, it would probably be Rassi, just because he'd want to tick it off as being the first guy to be able to say that he has. And how did the All Blacks... Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And Fiji versus Spain is going to be a cricket score against Spain. I wouldn't guarantee that, because Spain actually, every once in a while, pull off some pretty nice games. I think they were able to beat Tonga by a more comfortable margin than Fiji, I want to say, might have happened. Scotland regularly did that. Says Kerr. We missed the last time they've done it, Kerr. I can't remember. But then saying that, I think I've got the memory of a goldfish at times. Hello, Hamish Watson, says Byron. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. South Africa 43, Scotland 14 is Robert's prediction there. Anyone who hasn't already, of course, be sure to put in your prediction for this game. We are sitting only 15 minutes away from the kickoff. It is getting closer. The tension is building, these 2 sides. I mean, at this stage, this is, I think, like, it's debated, of course, but I would say that this is the biggest game for these 2 sides of their November internationals. And I know that people would say that South Africa versus England is bigger, but I would also argue, based off what we've seen from England and their ability to just not quite get over the line, Scotland were clinical last week. Yes, they were playing Fiji, but, I mean, we just saw Wales struggle to get through this Fijian defence. Is the Scottish side going to be a little bit of a dark horse of this round in November? And with so many changes made, we haven't seen the Springboks in action for a month, I should say. So all signs make me believe this could be quite close. But at the same time, if anyone knows how to be ready from minute number 1 of a game, it is the world champs. They've done it before. They'll do it again. They're just showing their position for Quagga Smith. He is in his his 49th match up till this stage, 50th for today. He's got 9 tries, so I'd love to see him bring up the 10 today, but he is playing number 8 in this contest rather than playing at 7 or, of course, being that super sub. Meaningly, it would be pretty hard to gauge how good Scotland really are. Yeah, like, we have no idea what type of Scottish team are going to come into it. No idea why they have 6 forwards tonight, though. They are struggling in the pack from kickoff, so dreading these subs, says Kurt. Yeah, it does seem very risky, to be honest, because I guess you get drawn into trying to match what South Africa are doing, and maybe they're assuming that with so many South African forwards coming off the bench, the starting forward pack is just going to empty their tank, and then if that's the case, then Scotland may start to tire. But we saw Scotland make a huge amount of tackles last week at about a 90+%. So they have one of the best tackling percentages in World Rugby currently. See if they can do it up against the world number 1. Box to win. Does it matter by how much? Not really, says Jan. And I am sure everyone says, Daniel, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. When is the game going to start? Only less than 15 minutes away from the kickoff of this game at Murrayfield. The crowd are stacked in for this one. It looks like a sold-out one. That lady is dancing. She is absolutely loving the atmosphere. She's got the Scotland polo on. And I says Sakabula. Who's your favourite player for both sides? In terms of favourite, I'm not too sure. But in terms of who I think will be the most impactful, I think that for the Scottish, honestly, it's got to be Sione Tuipulotu. Him in that inside centre role, he is so crucial for how this backline functions. And of course, Finn Russell, like I said in the preview, Finn Russell doesn't know what he's going to do until he does it. But Sione Tuipulotu, he'll be a little bit more controlled in what he plans. He's trying to hit that ball up hard, running straight at Andre Esterhuizen, which is going to be a battle and a half as well. And then for the Springboks, I mean, Eben Etzebeth is such an obvious choice. The Springbok line-out is where they could easily get an advantage here. Scott Cummings and Grant Gilchrist, don't get me wrong, they do pretty well for themselves, but Etzebeth is a master at getting those steals alongside Mostert, who's in his first game back. So it's going to be very intriguing. See what happens. Our line-out, 9-7-1 split on the bench, dangerous or genius? The thing is, right, it could be both, and it all depends on whether or not they win. Because if they win, everyone says it's genius. If they lose, everyone says it was a terrible move. So you're in that scenario of, for now, it seems like later on in the game, that's when the Springboks will be at their most dangerous, when they've got those new forwards out there on the field, including the likes of Peter Steph du Toit, to have a guy who could win Player of the Year coming off your bench. I mean, Quagga Smith, we know how much of an impact player he can be, and the same can be said about Peter Steph du Toit. Best thing for Scotland would be uncontested scrums in the last 30, says Sakabula. But that's the thing, like, Scotland hold their own in the scrums, and, like, yes, the Springboks, their forward pack later on in the game, of course, they will look to be extremely dominant, and it all depends on how long Pierre Schoeman and Xander Fagerson, I believe, can stay on the field. If they can play 70 minutes, I think that Scotland will do relatively well for themselves. The 7-1 split only works if you bring on all 7 at the same time. Says Grant. And we have got there Go the Bok. They're going to be brutal, says Madigan. And also we have got there from Marcel. I think you missed my comment. I think Pierre Spice, I always say his last name wrong, could be classified as a back. He could play any position forward or the backs, and he also won number 20, which could be a 4-4. Says Marcel. And we got the South African flag there from Caitlin. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well and hope you're excited for this game. It is great to see you. 35-15 is the score prediction there from Vicky. And I would use 6 backs and sacrifice scrums in the last 20 or 30. Maybe loose forward or loose chaos rugby, the way they do so well. Says Kerr, and we're wearing the blue tie. It's nothing personal. I've got green pants on. I don't know if they'll come through as... They're not really green. They're navy. Is that what you call this colour? It's kind of... what's it called? Forest green or something like that. I don't know why I put my leg up. I seem to do that more and more on these streams nowadays. Showing off the flexibility. That helps. Says Caitlin. You're going to stream the game. Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube, but we are going to be doing the play-by-play commentary all throughout this game, so I highly recommend sticking around. Definitely if you aren't able to find any other options. Khaki Green, says Johannes, and Quagga is not a number 8. He is an open-side flanker. He only played 26% of his games at 8. Says Neville. That is true, but, like, that's the thing, right? I'm a little bit confused by the selection of Quagga at 8 when they have Eldrick Lowe also in the starting side. I would have thought Quagga would have played 7 and then you'd have Eldrick Lowe start at 8. So Caitlin, would you rather Hamish remove the tie or the pants? And put your legs up getting closer to OnlyFans, says Caitlin there. Well, they swapped the forward and the backs around in the last 20. The backs only scrum. Says Grant at the box there, says Annie. And Quagga played 7, so can slot into the back. Moody can as well. Yeah, that's true. Like, there's a lot of guys with versatility in the Springbok side, and I feel like that's something, in terms of the thinking of Rassie, that some people may not think about. The fact that they really do have back cover. When you got Quagga Smith out there on the field, you've got a lot of versatility. With like Kane and Moody, that's a hard one, says Caitlin. And South Africa is going to win, go the box, says Legion in there as well. But we are only 10 minutes away from the kickoff, ladies and gents. We are close to the national anthems, and then we will be underway. So I do want to know who is going to score the first try in this game, and I mean the exact player. Let's see if anyone gets it right for your predictions. I think, I actually think we're going to see a bit of a curveball and see Scotland score the first, but then maybe South Africa score the next 2 or 3. So I'm going to say that Scotland get it, and I'm going to go with... See, I look through at the side and I look at Blair Kinghorn and feel like, to be honest, out of the whole backline, I think he's the least likely to score, so I'm going to go Blair Kinghorn. I'm going to go against my gut because my gut's often wrong. Good luck, the Bok, says Zulfa. And yeah, Blair Kinghorn score first. Scottish bench looking young, maybe... will be the determining factor, says Colston in there as well. So just a little bit of a breeze at Murrayfield, but no rain in the forecast. It should be an epic one. Sione Tuipolotu fired up. He's the Glasgow Warriors captain. He's pretty much captaining his Glasgow Warriors side here out there on the field. I hope I'm wrong, but my gut tells me today is the day the 7-1 split bites us in the behind. Says Yako. It could be. I mean... 7-1 split, we've seen them use it up against New Zealand. They went on to win that game. They've used it up against Ireland, I think. Was it the 7-1 split that they used in the Rugby World Cup game? Possibly. And that one backfired. So it's got about a 50% win rate at the moment, if that is correct. But Quagga, he has made his way out onto the field, the super sub, but he gets to start this game. He is an outstanding player, a workhorse, and just an impact player and a half. Can he bring his impact, though, in the first half here? Mapimpi to score first, that's a very fair shout. First try to be Lokanuam, and it will be 7 minutes into the game. All very specific in that regard. And come on, the Springboks, we want to win from you guys. Says Christel, and has Scotland ever beaten the Boks in their history? I honestly couldn't tell you. Like, in all of the stats that I've found for these matches, I never actually got the win-loss record, but I know that South Africa have got the heavy advantage in that department, and I imagine they want to increase that a little bit more here and get another win under the belt. Etzebeth looks focused at the moment. They play 7-1 in the group stages of the World Cup. CS0 was against ABs at Twigs, 35-7. Maybe your dream of AB will come true. Next week, Finau Savia 7 and Satiti 8. I hope they do it, but I just don't know whether they're willing to pull the trigger on it. Quagga's 50th test today. It certainly is, which is why he is in that starting side. No, they haven't, says Toa. So that's the thing, right? The fact that Scotland at the moment are a smaller underdog than we saw Australia versus England. They are a slightly higher underdog than New Zealand were up against Ireland. But the fact that they've never beaten... Oh, Scotland have won 5 times overall. Never mind. And Scotland by 5, says Claus. But yeah, they've got a really good chance in the betting odds for this matchup. And found a way to watch these games here in the States. And what a morning it has been. Wales and Fiji was a good one. Now the big one coming up before the Sunday NFL menu kicks off. Wife not happy, says MB there, but they are playing the Scottish national anthem, so what we will do is show the Scottish starting lineup in the front row. Pierce Gilman, Ewan Ashman and Xander Fagerson will close out that number 3 spot. Grant Gilchrist at 4 with Scott Cummings as the number 5. Matt Fagerson, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey, 3 dangerous individuals when getting into the breakdown, when being able to really disrupt, and that's something that they will have to try and do here up against South Africa. Ben White and Finn Russell as the 19 combination. Russell comes back in after not playing last week up against Fiji. Sione Tuipolotu, the captain, at number 12, and Hugh Jones on the outside at 13. Duan van der Merwe out on one wing, Blair Kinghorn out on the other, and Tom Jordan at number 15. So overall, a few switches compared to what we saw for Scotland in their last game. But one thing's for sure, these guys in the starting lineup, they have to start well. They cannot afford to be down by points. In fact, they started extremely well up against the Fijians. That's exactly what they have to do in this game as well. For the South Africans in their starting lineup, it is Oxenishare, Bongi Umbanambi, and Thomas Du Toit as the number 3. Eben Etzebeth alongside Franco Mostert, who returns from injury for his first game in quite some time. Mako van Staden starts at 6. A little bit of a curveball thrown by Arasi Erasmus. Eldrick Lowe at 7, and Quagga Smith as the number 8. Like I said a little bit earlier on, when I saw Quagga as well as Eldrick Lowe in the starting lineup, I would have thought you'd start Quagga at 7 and then have Lowe as the number 8, seeing as that is the position he's played quite a bit. But maybe Rassi has a few things up his sleeve, and possibly that helps when it comes to the bench replacements that they will be making later on. Jaden Hendrickse and Andre Pollard as the 19 combination. Pollard will have to steer this ship for the Springboks. He's great off a kicking tee, has a lot of control in what happens. With his backline, Andre Estesen and Lucanio Am, they will make up the midfield for the Springboks. Makazole Mapimpi out on one wing, Kanan Moody out on the other, and Vili LaRue at number 15. He is up to 98 caps with this game in hand. So 2 more for November, and he will bring up the 100. I'm not sure why, but the South African national anthem sounds extremely quiet. Is it just me, or is that the same for everyone else? Like, it's only the thinnest little bit that I can hear it. That would be my backs of this game. Plenty of cover in that mix-up. So you got White, Price, Horn, Dobie, Russell Hastings, Jordan van der Merwe, Kinghorn, Tuipulotu, times 2. Jones and McDowell, says Kerr. And there as well. Yes, it is quiet, says Nov Mum. So someone forgot to turn on the microphone by the sounds of it. Other Box playing their full-strength team. They have got the experimental side. So off the bench, they've got some brilliant players who would be normally in the starting lineup. The likes of Sia Khaleesi, who is normally skipper. Peter Steph Du Toit, another man who normally would start on a normal day. Vincent Cox, some thought he would be the man who replaces Frans Malaharba after he did end up injured. For the Scottish, they have gone with the 6-2. For the South Africans, they have gone with the 7-1, and they want to make a real impact in that last 20 minutes or so. But any early injury for the Springboks could bring a few troubles, as Grant Williams, he would have to make his way on, unless, of course, they are willing to put Quagga in that back line as well. But the national anthem for South Africa has just come to a close, ladies and gents. Oxenishare, it's got to be up there for World Player of the Year at the moment. The way that that man has been going over the last 12 months has been absolutely sensational. We're here to play rugby, not sing, says I Lollipop. And let's go Scotland, says Cameron Kay, and congrats Wales, says Mr. Marmite. And there as well. But now the Scottish national anthem as being sung. It is always an atmosphere, almost gives you goosebumps hearing it. Just like when you hear the South African national anthem being sung in South Africa as well. And Wales lost against Fiji. They certainly did. We have got there. I need a nervous one, says Kerr. I'm watching it live here in the UK, says Manny M. What happened to England? Says Cold Story, bro. Well, that's the thing. Like the Northern Hemisphere, there's been some close games, but overall, the South have been able to win their games. Argentina beating Italy. South Africa, they of course want to try take down the Scottish. New Zealand winning up against Ireland. Australia beating England, which was the biggest upset of them all. And then also Fiji getting the win over the Welsh. And the Springboks, says Sea Glider. But anyone who hasn't already, be sure to put your score predictions in the chat. Who do you think will be walking away with the victory here? And of course, if you guys are new, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back next week with plenty more action on the channel as well. Hi Hamish, nice to see you back. I will be in Wellington, New Zealand next weekend. And if no South African games, we'll be shouting for New Zealand, says Michelle. And there, yeah, New Zealand, big game up against the French. South Africa, they will be playing up against England, though, next week. So 2 massive games, but the national anthems have been sung, which means we are very close to the start of this match. South Africa by 20, says Ben Brits. And how does Gatlin keep his job? Well, that's the thing. No one else wants the Welsh coaching job. And Gatlin, at the start, when he got it, he even said he didn't really want it when he saw the problems that Welsh rugby had. Will he show the game? Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube, but we will be doing the play-by-play commentary all throughout the game. We'll be keeping you informed of the stats throughout it, who's scoring the tries, everything along those lines as well. Scotland by 3 and South Africa down to 14, says Steve. Oh, so you're saying a red card, Steve. If that's the case, who is the guy you're giving the red to? Of course, Andre Esterhuizen, just returning from when he ended up with his yellow card, or in fact, the red, sorry, a little while ago. 24 points to 14 in favour of South Africa. South Africa by 21, says Tyrone there. South Africa 43 to 17. Search for your commentary, Hamish. You are the best, Gail, from South Africa. Thank you very much, Gail, for being here as well. We are almost ready to go in this contest. The South Africans, they are wearing their white alternative strip. Jack Dempsey to have a cracking game, says Claus. Lecker boys, says Lockin. And 7-1 split to backfire, says Cameron K. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, any early injuries makes it tricky. In fact, no, sorry, the Springboks are in their green and gold, I believe. It's actually the Scottish that I could see from the distance in their white and blue strip for this one. And Chislin Colby says, Lydia sadly not playing in this game. I would have loved to see him versus Duan van der Merwe, but it is one of those battles that we do have to wait another day to be able to see. Christoph Ridley, the man in charge of this contest. A massive occasion for that man, your brother, or your channel is the best on YouTube, my brother. Thank you very much, Cluin. It is greatly appreciated. The big match feel, it's about to get underway, ladies and gents. There will be a lot of nervous supporters over the next maybe hour and 20 minutes or so. But the nerves will start to settle for these two sides. Andre Pollard kicks us off for the game at Murrayfield and claimed by Scotland inside of their own 22. Run forward by Jack Dempsey. It's just outside of the 22, so won't be able to kick this one towards the touchline, but can still get some distance on it for Ben White. Down towards the halfway line, nicely taken by Willie LaRue. Goes back across to Pollard. Here comes Quagga Smith for his 50th match. Looks for the offload, gets it to Umbanambi. They're going to keep this one flowing. And straight away from the get-go, you can normally tell what type of game South Africa want to play when you see early offloads. They want to keep this one moving because they want to wear out the Scottish home side. It's going to be kicked high. Andre Pollard going across field. Kane and Moody slaps it back. There was a knock on, I believe, from Scotland. No, in fact, they've just said play on in the hands of the South Africans now. Now Jaden Hendrickse goes across to Etzebeth, Willie LaRue, Andre Esterhuizen with the wide cut out past him back towards Pollard. Now Makazolema Pimpy trying to go down the wing. Oh, they've finally worked out the crowd noise. I just heard someone roar in my eardrums. Jaden Hendrickse across to Quagga. Wasn't the best pass to him, above his head, and has to bring it in. Jaden Hendrickse again goes to Pollard. Another cross kick attempted. Looking for a 50-22. That is a great take under the high ball from Duan van der Merwe. The Scottish shirt is awful. It is an interesting kit. I'll be honest, I haven't seen them wear this one before that I can think of in recent time. Ansia said hello, welcome in. I'm hoping you're doing very well and you're excited for this game. Scotland to win, says Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi. Now Duan van der Merwe will clear the lines, kicks it downfield, and Pollard will not, Willie LaRue will not take the quick throw. We have got a new member on the channel, Anima. You now have access to those emojis that you are seeing brushing through the chat every once in a while, so thank you very much for becoming the channel member. Now Mbanambi, the first line out for him of this contest. And he's thrown it in very nicely to Elric Lowe. Hangs on to it rather than offloading it back. 40 metres out from the line here for South Africa. Good low tackle made on Etzebeth, chopping out the knees from Ewan Ashman. Now Hendrickse goes to Esterhuizen. He worked his way back into the Springbok side after some great form for the Sharks in the URC. Ball is lost in the breakdown, but now knocked on by the Scottish. No, referee says it's all gone backwards again. I think Christoph Ridley, he wants to keep this game flowing as best he can. Oh, that was an awkward one for Etzebeth, getting wrestled down and unplayable. Almost became the case, but instead it will be the penalty to South Africa after not moving away in the breakdown. And thank you for the coverage. Odd to have a game on Sunday, says Rajin and Apalilifasi and Colby. Where are they? They are missing from this game. Rassi going experimental with the side, giving many players the chance. Is Marco van Staden, he's obviously gone over like some sort of red sponsor logo because he's got red all up his leg now. I thought it was blood when I first saw it. And we got Mangled says annoying. Well, he did get a little bit set up there in terms of wasn't really balanced when he went in, but now 5 metres out from the line, chance here for the Springboks. Nicely taken by Franco Mostert. Here comes the first rolling maul attempt of the day. Pierre Skurman, they've said that he's gone through legally. No, he hasn't. It's going to be the penalty advantage now against him, so he's decided he might as well hang on to it for as long as he can. Good evening, Hamish, says Giovanni. Welcome in, Estays, and Andre Pollard with the cross kick to Makazole Mapimpi for the corner. He gets there. And the first try of the match, 4 minutes in, Mapimpi does strike. First few people predicted a Mapimpi first try. Someone said in the 7th minute. They weren't a mile off being scored in the 4th. And shout out to Kyra and Son, who are going for the box, or who are going to the box game next week, says Andrew. And Mapimpi gets the cross kick from Andre Pollard. Scotland defending quite narrowly. Ouch, wake up, boys, says Kerr there as well. But yeah, just a silly penalty to give away against the Springboks, the possession and the territory just out from the line. And solid work from Mapimpi. Tom Jordan tried to force him towards the touchline. Mapimpi probably shifted an inch, and that was about it. And go try Bok. Says Mariam, will this result affect the rice price in Asia? No idea, mate. I feel like for the amount of prices or the amount of questions you ask about the rice price, surely you have some sort of knowledge about it. And Kurt says Kieflin in there as well. Now Andre, ooh, that's an ugly kick from Andre Pollard. I'm not used to seeing him strike them like that, but it's missed away to the left-hand side, and the score now will be 5-0 in favour of the Springboks. So a great start to this match, getting one under their belt nice and early. But it's about building from here and firing back with another one. And go the Bok. Says Shader there. I almost choked while saying that, which is why I said it with so much emphasis. Well, that answered my question about Pollard. Says Toa, those still early days, he could still kick 5 from 6 or something along those lines. Today, knock on coming from this. Okay, Ridley seems to not like knock-ons. He's just letting it flow. Eldrick Lowe. Now going to be rolling this one back. Jaden Hendrickson ready to send this one up high. Clean sweep for the Southern Hemisphere, says Troy Boy. Says Troy B. Now, nicely taken by Finn Russell. He's got Makazole Mapimpi, though, all over him, but the penalty goes the way of Scotland for Mapimpi losing his footing. Mapimpi, you beauty, and the critics say he's over the hill, says Lilia B. I know I don't know about Rice, but I also don't know about rugby. What do you know about Martin? Do let me know. I believe in my mans, says Shader. And as long as he keeps the knock-on attitude in the second half when the bomb squad is on, says Kerr. Now, kicking that one into touch, making sure it goes out Finn Russell, not getting a massive amount of distance on it, but the last thing you want to do is miss touch with your very first kick of the day. And 18 South Africa, Scotland 12, says Marlene there. And just saw Fiji put one over Wales too. Well done, Fiji, says Sided. Yeah, massive win for the Fijians. That's a bad decision from Ben White, gets forced into touch. Tried to go short side when the man weighs about 80 kgs. Now it's going to be the line out for South Africa. Just seems like a little bit of early indecision from the Scottish at the moment. Can you show the game, please? Sadly, due to licensing, YouTube, if we showed any match footage, would take us down within about 20 seconds. We get a copyright strike, which would mean we can't live stream for 3 months on the channel as well. But there are certain broadcasters. Supersport have this game in New Zealand. I believe it's on the TAB. Stolen line out from Scotland. Great work from Scott Cummings to get it back. Now chance for the back line, and South Africa are scrambling, but great tackle made by Moody. Hugh Jones hangs on to it. It is no longer called the Bomb Squad, 7-1 now called the Nuke Squad, says Giovanni. A little pop ball out there. South Africa taking it back. Look, Kanyuam, knock on. Ridley does see that one. Now 45. Scotland going to kick this one in behind. That will take away their knock-on advantage. Now, Villy LaRue close to the touchline, fires it back across to Kane and Moody, who has to try and run this one. Scotland scampering, trying to get that turnover in the breakdown. Duan Funamurva has to be very careful. He's got him picked up and almost dropped Villy LaRue. What is the red flower about? It is about Anzac Day, I believe, or at least it is normally representative of Anzac Day for us here in New Zealand. So I'd assume it is the same for South Africa as well. But then Anzac Day, it's probably a different name for it, I would say, just because Anzac is New Zealand and Australia, I think. maybe. Oh, it might be multiple more. Kick towards the touchline for Jaden Hendrickse. People forget to say please when they... No, that one asked to say... Or they said, can I see the game, please? Nicely taken at the front. Jack Dempsey. Now goes back across to Sione Tuipolotu, his first run, and Pollard does well. Remembrance Sunday. Okay. Now Xander Fagerson. Going back across. Oh, cut out pass from Finn Russell. Bit of space for Duan van der Merwe. Etzebeth grabs him and rips him into touch. He says, you might be big, but I am a bit bigger. Now, Scotland, once again, though, getting trapped near that sideline. The flower is a poppy. Says Kerr there. Just trying to cut back inwards. Didn't realise that Eben Etzebeth was going to be right in his face. Gives him the bear hug and just says, nah, you're not staying in the field of play. Yeah, he was polite. All should be like him. Says, cool story, bro. And South Africa 28 and Scots 18. It's a prediction from Marlene there. Now thrown in by Bongio Manambi. Another bad throw. And Scotland take it again. That's currently, I believe, 2 from 2. Through the legs there from Scotland. Bit of flair. Mapimpi asking for a forward pass, but he was watching from the wrong direction. Now Ben White goes back across. Xander Fagerson, flat ball, a little bit of a juggle there. Quick hands, gets it out to Duan van der Merwe. This time he's got Quagga Smith in front of him. And great tackle from Kanan Moody again. Ben White back across to Xander Fagerson, I should say. Currently a little bit of a concern at time for the light. That was almost Mostert's knee going. And of course, just coming back from an injury. The last thing that you want is an awkward one in the breakdown. Eldrick Lowe locks over the ball. This has to... Oh, hang on. Penalty to Scotland. The first clearer tripped over the tackle. I think that's against Eldrick Lowe for not moving away. Tell you what, that one could have gone either way, that one. But now, Scotland have the opportunity to choose to either kick for the 3 or kick for the corner. If it's anything like their game up against Fiji, they will go for the corner every single day of the week here. Hang on. TMO is checking something by the sounds of it. Maybe Etzebeth saying about it. I think it was that Mostert one where his knees went the wrong way. Yeah, through the legs. Mapimpi said it was forward, but it did go backwards through the legs. And the Boks are going to wreck them, says John Doe. Corner go on. Says Kurt, hang on. TMO. Croc roll by Scotland. That is on Franco Mostert, I believe. So this will take away Scotland's opportunity. And we're going to find out whether or not it is severe enough to give a yellow card for. In this case, we've seen croc rolls be given as reds, depending on the severity of them. It's against Scott Cummings, in this case on his opposite number. They are going to go upstairs 11 minutes into this game. Before we got... the touch ref just went as if to say he didn't see it. But yeah, it is on Franco Mostert. I mentioned how he fell awkwardly. It is a bad one for the knees. I think this other angle might show it better. Now, that's against Rory Darge. So pretty much he pulls him down and he slightly puts his body weight on his legs. So that will meet the yellow card threshold. I don't think it will be a red, but it's going to be a 10-minute yellow card. It is foul play, says Christoph Ridley, because he lands on his knee. And it meets the yellow card threshold. So yellow card now for Rory Darge. They were blaming Scott Cummings for that one, but Darge is going to be on report. Yeah, Cummings is going, me? But no, it's not him. It's Rory Darge. They're showing Scott Cummings on the field. So that's why he's so confused. Where's this ref from? He is English. Christoph Ridley? No, it's not number 5. It's Rory Darge. Scott Cummings is going to get sent off the field. He didn't do anything. He made the tackle from straight on. Rory Darge is the one who pulled him sideways. Was he not? Surely if they're going to look at it 5 times, they can work out that it's actually Darge that does the croc roll, can't they? Like, is it not Darge? Like, is that a case of them not knowing who plays for Scotland? Because Scott Cummings is sitting there going, it's not even me, mate. And no one said anything. But now, the Springboks on the halfway line. I mean, that's definitely going to disrupt the line-out of the Scottish now for the next 10 minutes. With him off the field, Billy LaRue passes out wide now to Kanan Moody. Going to be hit hard near the touchline, but goes to ground. Now back across to the left-hand side. This is a testament of to qualifying of refereeing and TMO. Says Kerr. Like, is it the first time in a while that we've had a player who didn't do the penalty get sent to the bin? Willie LaRue just playing a bit of territory, putting it into touch, and now Scotland, they were considering the quick throw. Scots got Bok on the lineouts. Yeah, although now they've lost their main jumper. They've lost Scott Cummings, so now this will be quite a test for them here. Got one less option. Just send off anyone you want. He just went for the closest player, I think. Now 12 minutes in and still another 8 minutes remaining of this yellow card. How is this line out going to go? A referee always suckling South Africa, and Crockrell like it. Says Eric J. Going to be thrown in by Ewan Ashman. Goes over the top and nicely claimed by Matt Fagerson at the back. That's in through the side from, I think it was Mostert. Oh no, in fact, it's actually going to be pulling a player. It's against, no, it is against Mostert. Okay, I think they're just giving out penalties to whoever's on screen at the moment. Bro, I'm enjoying your commentary the whole weekend. And Hard says Shaz, or Harsh, I mean. What can be sacrificed for this victory? What can be sacrificed? Like a goat? What are you talking about? Cool story, bro. Optometrists need to sponsor their services, says Lilia B. It's a good kick downfield from Finn Russell. Will relieve the pressure. River's like, all your Scots look the same to me. Off you go. And bad call on the yellow. And a Lamb, says Marmite. Now it's going to be about 42 metres out Finn Russell. To kick it very nicely, much better than his first. And Ewan Ashman now. Successful first throw in the line out. Now the meaning to my question was if Pollard was back to form. It looks like he was, says Toa. Oh, nicely claimed. Mike Gilchrist this time. Big shot coming in on Dempsey. But he got the offload. We're going to see some big hits, of course, coming in from South Africa throughout the early stage. Scotsman sent off, yep, number 5. But it was number 6 who did the penalty. But they sent off 5 just for fun, I guess. The Marco Fun started now, 22 metres out from the line. Jaden Hendrickse going to the left-hand side to Thomas Tatoy. He gets the start here due to no Franz Malharba. It's literally that. Anyone in sight or you did a naughty thing. And we have got there Bok win this. Do we go to number 1? You guys are actually already number 1 at the moment after New Zealand beat Ireland. That is a knock-on first from Scotland, then from South Africa. So the scrum feed for the Scottish here, and this will be a good test. First scrum of the day, and Scotland are down a man. But yeah, South Africa are currently sitting number 1. If they win this game, they will get themselves a whole 1 point clear of number 2. If they lose this game, they drop to 3rd in the world. I know the meaning to my question was if Pollard was back to form. It looks like he was, says Toa. And third Tui Pilotu brother rumoured to move to Glasgow, says Kerr there. An evening, Hamish, says Daryl Roberts. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Just a little bit scrappy between these two sides for the first 15 minutes, but still just a 1 try on the board. That was for Makazole Mapimpi, scoring it in the 4th minute. What we might actually do, while we've got the scrum, we're going to put down the try scorers on the bottom of the screen. So far, none for the Scottish. But South Africa have got themselves the one with Mapimpi being able to, early drive from Scotland, from South Africa, leads to the free kick for the Scottish. There we go. We've also updated the time on the board, seeing as it was a little bit behind. There we go. We're all good. But now 9 has been told to use it with Ben White. And it's just a lock, says Cited. Although it is a lock goose. Oh, that's just a push off the ball. That was really stupid from Jack. Oh, hang on. No, it's called as obstruction. The guy who did the push is not the man penalised. They've said that they've changed the line. That is something we've seen penalised many times throughout this weekend. They've been a lot more strict about that rule. And Loretta said, thanks, no worries at all. Looks like now Scotland will line up the 3 points to use up a little bit of the time that is remaining on that yellow card. Tui Pilotu sits down Andre Pollard. And thanks to Kiwi Lad, says Roderick Smith. And South Africa is going to win this match. And come on, Scotland, says Nicholas. It seems your date is wrong. It is right here in New Zealand, currently the 11th of November. But yeah, in South Africa, it is currently the 10th, as well as where this game has taken place. Yeah, I think it was just, by the looks of it, it was lazy running back from Franco Mostert that did actually get him penalised. Cheeky rule that. So here's Adam. Now Finn Russell ready to line up this kick. Scotland their first chance at points. Does strike it well, and that now makes the score 5 points to 3. Now, last time these two sides played, the only points that Scotland scored were 3. They didn't score a try up against South Africa, and they also didn't get any more extra ones after their first penalty. Is it Monday in New Zealand? It is, yeah. So Monday morning, captain's being called over. Is this upgraded? This is going to be a big decision. It's going to be upgraded to a rare cut, but Cummings didn't do it. But it was Rory Darge. So Scott Cummings is now probably going to be suspended for 2 weeks for a thing that he didn't even do. Surely they have like a court case or something, do they? We're going to see it here. So Scott Cummings cleans him out in the legal manner. Rory Darge then twists him. So he wasn't the guy. He's not guilty. And he's now, he's going to end up suspended more than likely. I agreed to live stream, says Faiza, says Shaz. Surely they can look at that, can't they? And say it wasn't him? Rory Darge, he'll be sitting very quietly out there just going, geez, that's a bad thing that the teammate did, wasn't it? But now it's going to be Jaden Hendrickson. Nice flat ball to Lukanyuamu, who has dropped it for the second time in his 2 carries, and it's kicked out on the full, but they will go back, I would assume, for the knock-on. Or are they going to call it as a strip? Oh, they've called it as a strip, so that is no longer going to be Scotland's... Oh, no, they've gone back for the knock-on. F's up the whole game, says Neville. Refereeing has now reached a new low. I want a refund, says Mr. Marmite. And that is insane, says Mr. Tuba Dude. And Ref and TMO Drunk, says Joe. Unless we're missing something. Like, for me, Rory Darge was the one who pulled him down for the croc roll. Like, yes, Cummings came through and also landed on the leg, but that was only after Darge rotated him. Cummings was doing the clean out straight. And that's the end, says Kieran. And ref sucks, says Antonio. Or Antonio, I should say. And now we've seen it all. Tough luck, says Lilia B. Now 19 minutes in, no way a red, hardly a yellow. Dantic ref kills the game, says Stormer, and go, says Russell. Now ball's going to be fed in by Ben White. Oh, that's a free kick to South Africa. They didn't push in the end, Scotland. The ball didn't come in. And now taking the quick tap. Jaden Hendrickson goes to Quagga, who's knocked the ball on. And now it's back to pretty much a Scotland scrum. Oh, a little bit of push there from Umbanambi. Shoves Sione Tuipolotu. Once the ref is not against South Africa, says LaRue. And imagine if you paid to be in the stadium, says Kieran. You certainly wouldn't be happy. But at the end of the day, the game is not over. There's only 2 points separating these two teams. The 20-minute red card rule means that we've only got another 11 minutes remaining of the red card before someone else can make their way onto the field, in which case here it seems like Max Williamson will be the straight switch. Mike's always get the ref on their side, says Power Bite, and ref is still involved in this game, says Zero Connection. He can surely fight that red afterwards. I'm sure he will win the appeal. But it should have been, like, hopefully he would, but it also should have been dealt with when they were looking at who did the penalty. Like, surely from watching it 5 times, they realised it was a 7 on the guy's back, not a 5. Now kicked him behind from Hugh Jones. Ball sits up nicely for Villy LaRue, already a quarter of the way through this contest. Kane and Moody. Good tackle made by Dempsey, and Scotland over the ball and win themselves another penalty here for not releasing. Been relatively relentless when they're getting in those breakdowns, trying to get those steals, the loose forward trio. They are known for it. And now another choice here for Scotland. Do they go for the 3 or the corner? It looks like Russell's setting up as if he's kicking towards the corner. This is why 20-minute card is a good idea. Game would have been over. Scotland were already effectively 3-man down at the start. Says Karen, oh no, they've called for the shot in the end. Finn Russell decided it would be the better choice, and it would also give Scotland a lead at this stage of the match. Thanks for the update, Kiwi lad. I just paid £15. Can't watch the game on there. That's on TNT Sports. Says Roderick. And Timo needs to go for a fresh eye test. And who got the red? It was Scott Cummings, but it should have been Rory Darge. Was the one who they were actually looking for. And And Scots don't have Irish luck, just the opposite. Now Finn Russell. Ready to take this kick. At least they're better than last year's refs. Says Toa. And now Russell. He's got that one over as well. Scotland take the lead after 21 minutes, 6 points to 5. Data's not wrong. In New Zealand, it's already Monday. That is true. Currently 5:34 a.m. on a Monday. It's been a long weekend. A lot of rugby taking place all throughout random hours of the night. Remember when W. De Allende slapped Ben White in the face? Rugby World Cup 2023 and the Ref TV execs wouldn't play the replay. I remember. Says Powerbike, can we watch? Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage on YouTube that you show gets you taken straight down with a copyright strike. But we are going to be doing the commentary all throughout the game. Finn Russell just kicking that one into touch for the Scottish. And South Africa now situated about 32 metres out. We have got there on SABC. Oh, I don't think it's on SABC. I think it's on Super Sport that it is available. It's like my $5 on Scotland to win could be magic for me. Says Martin. Now it's going to be thrown in. Nicely claimed by Franco Mostert. Last time Scotland were in this position, they ended up giving away a penalty for joining the maul incorrectly. Xander Fagerson, I believe, now has to get out of it. Told to use it once. He's just pulled someone's pants down in the process. Ombanambi. They're trying to keep him isolated. Now Hendrickse goes across to Andre Esterhuizen, a missed tackle from Russell. Now he moves up to 22 metres out. Hendrickse again goes to Etzebeth. Great driving tackle from Ewan Ashman. Drives Etzebeth back 5 metres. Not many people do manage to do that, but Hendrickse with a wide cut-out pass to Kane and Moody, who has now dropped the ball as well. So there is rust there for South Africa, and the penalty goes the way of Scotland for a high tackle. We've got to remember, yes, South Africa did win the Rugby Championship, 5 wins from 6, but they have had a month where they haven't played as South Africa, and the best example I can think of is when the Bulls, or sorry, not the Bulls, the Sharks in the URC get all their Springboks back. Normally it takes a little bit more time for them to be able to find their rhythm and get that chemistry back. And I feel like maybe that's the case for these guys in the Springbok. A little bit of a slippery ball. They're just making a few too many early mistakes. Box are playing good, says Ashley. The ref is going to win this game, says Andre, as long as Scotland put in a good effort. Oh, well, Oaks, what's happening, Box? Yeah, that's about the 6th drop ball that we've seen from the Springboks in the first 24 minutes. And the thing is, it's not just one player either. We've seen Quagga dropping it. We've seen Kane and Moody, Lukan Yoam. Lineouts 1 so far. We've seen 4 from 4 for the Scottish, 5 from 7 for South Africa. And then they still lose to Glasgow. Says Kerr, I've got slippery balls, says RJJ. I would recommend some baby powder for that. 24 minutes through in this match, and quite the big hit coming in from Ewan Ashman. Got a knee to the head for his process. What are the back weights? I believe South Africa do have the slight advantage when it comes to weights. I don't remember seeing them, though. I think it was like 910 to 930 or something. Oh, no, but they haven't got Frans Malherbe. He normally really bumps up the weights in a nice way, of course, for Frans Malherbe. The box will show them how to make the circle bigger, because we are the box. Says Skip Step. And Quagga doesn't know what it's like to be on for the first half, says Adam. It's thrown in nicely for Scotland. That is now 5 from 5. In their line-out, Sione Tuipulotu. They've done well to shut him out of the game throughout this first 25. Told to use it. His hands were on the ball there, Ben White, but does roll it back, chasing hard. Duan Van der Merwe misses the tackle. Great change of direction from Kane and Moody, I should say. 40 metres out from their line now. For the South Africans, Andre Pollard once again going with the up and under. Makazole Mapimpi chasing. It's a loose ball picked up by Kinghorn for his kicking behind. It's kicking towards the sideline, but Villaroo does get it back, and Pollard has to clear the lines, and great territory gain for the Scottish there. Box still warming up. Wait for it. Where's our 7-1 bench? Well, they haven't made their way on as of yet, but of course in the second half, that is where we're going to see the prominent 7-1. And Box still warming up. And after the red card for Cummings instead of Daj, I want Scotland to win. The ref needs an eye test, says Penelope. Because, like, of course we could have got it wrong, but I did think it was Daj who did it. Maybe something else will come out and they say it's actually Cummings, but yeah, just the general consensus was they got the wrong guy, you know? But, yeah, we'll see how it impacts the game. Losing a lock early on, of course, losing him for another 5 minutes. Eldrick Lowe going for a bit of a counter-ruck there. Ben White cross to Xander Fagerson. Now, big run forward from Jack Dempsey. Already more points on the board for Scotland than they had the last time that they met the Springboks. Another big hit from Quagga. Now, Pierce Koorman with a pick and go. Driven into the turf by the Springboks defence. They are showing physicality early. Trying to wear down on the side. We've got another donation from Roderick Smith. I already lost £50 on a bet. Might as well show my support to the Kiwi Lads. Thank you very much, Roderick Smith. Greatly appreciated for your generosity. Oh, back for the drop goal from Finn Russell. Charged down from the South Africans. Is that not accidental offside? No, I guess it's play on. In that case, now Tui Pelotu tries the kick. Charged down as well. Sorry, but if I'm Scotland, I'm not doing any more kicks just in the next little while. Losing a forward against South Africa for 20 minutes is a big hit to take for any side. Definitely one up against a 7-1 split. Like, that's the other little bit of an extra kicker that they're going to have to deal with. Metaphorical kicker, not an actual kicker. Just to clarify. Ben White now in behind the breakdown. Here comes Finn Russell. Passes off to Tom Jordan. Set him up for failure there. Nice clean out from Duan van der Merwe. South Africa in off their feet over the top, but the counter ruck is good. Eldrick Lowe now goes across to the big man, Oxnische, looks for the offload, finds Eben Etzebeth, one more coming, Hendrickson pops it up to Willie LaRue, numbers to the side, but he will kick it in behind there. And now Makazole Mapimpi, chasing hard, Finn Russell controls, passes to Tom Jordan, that's a bit of a late shot from Andre Esterhuizen, but it still stays in the field of play, more time of out-and-out action between these two sides. Andre Pollard runs it up to 45 out. Now back across there, Franco Mostert. Hendrickson in behind to Willie LaRue, who does play fly half just for a moment. Kanan Moody. Tackled low by Matt Fagerson. Bit of a counter-ruck attempted there for half a second from Scotland, then they pull out. Ewan Ashman tackles Marco van Staden. They are now 25 metres from the line here. Little grubber in behind for Willie LaRue. Well weighted. Bounces over the head of Tom Jordan. Got a little bit lucky there. Ball is still available for Scotland, and they've done very well to still keep that, because that easily could have popped out on the side of the South Africans. Now Ben White goes across to Jack Dempsey. He's hit high from Quagga Smith, who got him on the chin with the shoulder. Now, he was falling, but we've seen them give him for less. Is the TMO going to have a look? Ben White kicks it vertically. This will be 15 metres out from the line now. And lucky, says one Pierre Bosch. He almost bounced out the back door. Goes Scotland, says Stephen. Yeah, just nice counter ruck coming there. Are we losing at this point? Go the Bok, says Sonia. And Pollard and LaRue past their best. I mean, to be fair, Willie LaRue, he's doing pretty nicely throughout this game so far. Now thrown in, not claimed cleanly by... Oh, it's gone backwards, they say. And Thomas du Toit cuts through for the try. A mistake out line-out time, but it still bounced favourably into the hands of the big man who gets his first start in quite some time. Thomas du Toit does get it. It looked like, once again, a missed line-out there for the South Africans. It worked out to be their best of the day. And try says one pair there and wreck up for Etzebeth. And go the box, says Firelight. And just falls nicely for Thomas du Toit. Tommy the Tank, says Juan Pierre there. And now that gives South Africa the lead. We'll be up 10 points to 6 with a kick to come for Pollard. This one should be a lot easier than his first. And yes, please, try time. I'm Farrell and Scotch. And most of my money went towards over 45 or over 44. What is the score at the moment? It is 12-6 with this kick from Pollard just going over. And so it begins, says Adam. Dam will break soon, says Kieran. Going to see it here. Mostert just not quite able to claim it cleanly, but it bounces perfectly. Oh, you must be sick of my amen, says one. And now your name is wrong. Your name is Cool Story Bro, not Cool Story Cool Bro. And bloody cards spoiling rugby, says Jimbo. Yeah, we're going to see Max Williamson just about make his way onto the field. But with a man disadvantage, Scotland now down by 6 with 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Blair Kinghorn going to kick this one off. Go down just outside of the Springboks 22. Loose ball again. Not claimed by Mostert. That's 2 in a row, but both of them have gone backwards. And when the Boks play bad, they are damn good, says Kobus. Said your name a bit weird, didn't I? I apologise for that. It's going high. Kanan Moody tries to slap it back. Jack Dempsey waits for the bounce of the ball, and it has now gone back to Finn Russell. Offloads up to Xander Fagerson. 40 metres from the line. Well protected in the breakdown from Pierre Skurman. Quagga Smith drags down. Oxnashire over the ball. No, once again, not rolling away. Goes against South Africa. Like they said, no attempt to roll. Quagga said he was on the ball, which he did everything right. It was just his teammate who'd stay on the side of Scotland. I don't give out about dumb decisions, but that was so dumb. Says Kieran, I support the Boks, but my daughter support the Scotland, married to a Scotty and lived in Scotland. Says Jacob there. And hi, says Liam, welcome in. And also we'll go there, hi, we'll be back after break. And social security. And shout out to Tim in Fiji with the Ocean Soldiers. And Lekkerbok. Yeah, unfortunately there. Oh no, Quagga Smith, was the one who didn't roll away when Oxnashire was getting onto the ball. And, Rassi slams and he spilled his water all over himself. Unfortunately for Rassi, he now has a wet lap. Not ideal. And good morning, Hamish, says Chris. Welcome in. Also, who doesn't put the lid on a drink bottle? Like, I don't know if that's just a thing that I do, but I feel like anytime I finish drinking, I put the lid back on, not leave it open on a desk that I might slam. You know, it just seemed like a risk. Could have got the laptop. Finn Russell gets the kick over, and now 9 points to 12. Close at the moment between these two sides. As Scottish chicks good lookers, says Juan. In my day, when they don't roll away, we step on your face, says Bill. We kicked off long. Jack Dempsey claims it inside of the 22. What was the Wales-Fiji score? In the end, Wales were defeated by the Fijians. I think that was 24-19, I think, in the end, was the score. Oh, penalty. No, sorry, knock on. Took too long at scrum time. He said use it early, says Christoph Ridley. So now that gives South Africa the possession on the 22. He's the coach, no time to put the top on, says Carol. And can you put the time up? Currently 34 minutes. It is just next to that first half. And that's the first, says Cited. You should send him a Kiwi Lads water bottle. I don't think he would accept it, unfortunately. But the water bottle does look very nice, of course. Southern Hemisphere dominating this weekend, says Darryl Roberts. Argentina rugby is looking good, says Chris. But Ben White, he will certainly use it a lot quicker from now on. Aurasi likes to take risks, says Lilia. Yeah, I guess it kind of summarises the way that he does his selections as well, how you can never quite predict why the F is Horn not playing now. Inside ball, Andre Estays and almost through. 10 metres from the line, Hendrickse goes across to Andre Pollard. Now once again to the left-hand side, Villy LaRue looking for the chip in behind, finds Mapimpi, and it's the third try of the match now. Mapimpi gets his double, and again a mistake from Scotland leads to a try for the Springboks. Okay, there, no sound, says Ray, and Horn are much better suited against the Boks than White, says Kerr. And we have got the Argentina beat Ireland. And where is Russie's water bottle cap on putter person, says Albert. Okay, screen says Mossaline. A little chip in behind from Villy LaRue. Like, people can say what they like about LaRue, whether you like him as a player, whether you don't like him. One thing cannot be denied. He's had a really strong start to this game. And, you know, he wants to earn those 100 caps. This is 98. And if he keeps playing like this, he'll get the 100. Because, you know, him and Apalele Fassi, that's such a hard battle at 15 if LaRue plays like this. It's just whether or not he's got consistency. That's the main one. But Scotland back to 15 as well, I should mention, because of the red card has expired, as it is a 20-minute red card for the November Internationals. Great commentary, says Firelight Gaming. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more coming in the future. When Billy sparks, he really sparks. Yeah, he's kind of one of those players that either has about a 9 out of 10 or he has about a 3, you know. But today he's a 9 at least with how he's gone here. Tired of refs and cards and stuff ruining rugby, says Jimbo there, and calling Mapimpi to score 4 today. Hey, what, that would be quite the statement. I mean, Kurtley Ardenser, of course, normally scores out on that left wing. Another penalty goes the way of Scotland for not rolling away. I don't think he was blocking the ball, though, at the back of that ruck. Please stop the talking. Show the game. Sadly, we cannot stop the talking because YouTube, pretty much, if we showed any match footage or audio, would take us straight down. But now South Africa, they are going to have this line out from about 46 metres out, and score isn't changing. WTF, says Anime. There we go. It has now changed. 19-9. Great physicality so far. Big 2 half coming. First half doesn't always matter. Rather, there's a second half. Score up to date. It is now, and thanks for helping us, broke peeps. Keep up with the rugger, says Armand. No worries at all. And, of course, the highlights will be on YouTube afterwards on the Autumn Nations YouTube channel, I believe, is where you'll be able to find it. Knock on coming from South Africa. Tui Peloti trying to fire up his team as the captain. He's trying his best to just keep them in the game. If they can score once before halftime, even if it's a 3-pointer, of course you want the corner now when you're down by 10, but just something before the end of this half. Are you giving the second try to Detoy, not Mapimpi? That's because Detoy scored the second try. First try of the match was Mapimpi. Third try of the match was Mapimpi. Oh, okay. No, I see what you're saying. Sorry. I thought you were saying that I had given him the other one. Tell you what, Thomas Detoy, he can score again, though. We'll go like this. Hang on. What did it do there? There we go. Have fixed it. We have got there, LaRue. No way the Scots get 23, bro, says Kovas. I knew that giving a prediction, well, it always backfires anyway, but tell you what, saying that Scotland were going to score, oh no, I went 21, didn't I? I got some very interesting private messages about my prediction of Scotland getting 21 points. I got called a lot of names for saying that they could score 21, but who knows, you know, maybe a try here, they'll get somewhere close. But now, back line here. Oh, massive gap opening up. Well, there's one try for the Scottish. Matt Fagerson. No, in fact, sorry, my apologies. That is a man who is smaller than Matt Fagerson. It will be Scotland's first try coming for Ben White in this game. And that's the little bit of a spark that the Scottish needed before the end of this half. Puts them back into this game, and they'll only be down by 3 now, heading into the second, if this kick goes over. Is that the last try for the half to end? A lovely try by Scotland. Yeah, just the inside ball. A little bit of a mistake there defensively from the Springboks. WF says Adam. And I said Scots 20, Box 48. I really, really wish it was Dash. Well, that's the thing. If Dash gets a turnover or anything later on and has like a match-winning moment, like, what happens there? Does he then get suspended next week if they realise he did the croc roll? Like, what's the go there? I just made that much worse. I tried to fix it and it did not fix. 20. Oh, hang on, TMO. What are we checking for now, Christoph? There's something that happens in the build-up to the try. They're checking for it. There is a knock-on from Hugh Jones, I believe. Now, I believe with the new rules, they're allowed to check something way back. So that was about 4 phases ago. It's going to be no try. Like, it's the right decision, but just, like, surely they could have checked that at the breakdown and not wait till after they have a few more phases. And go South Africa, says Naomi there. No try, says Neville. And the Box start playing adult rugby. Keep your concentration, says Louis there. So it will be a Springbok scrum. About 55 metres out from Scotland's line, and now they've got the chance to get the try. At 100-16, and Shane Manhouse-Quagga playing. honestly, he hasn't been too flash yet for his 50th. He's knocked the ball on once. I think he's given away one penalty, or it might be two. But yeah, it hasn't been his greatest start, but that doesn't mean it won't get better as it goes on. What a mismatch. 14 changed the rugby rules. It's currently 15 on 15, though. The 20-minute red card means that Scotland have been back to 15 for the last about 12 minutes. I love the sound effect, Hamish. Says Lilia. I got 2 tries. Your banner is not correct. Says Crazy South African. Daj is 8th. Getting man of the match is a Springbok. And, knock on. Elbow to the floor, so another penalty against Scotland here. And Scotland absolutely battering these cheats. Oh, the crowd are not happy with something that has happened. I'm not sure what has happened, though, that they were... Wait, hang on. Oh, okay, they missed touch with the kick, and now it's going to be halftime. Such an unfair contest where players are sent off. Says Joseph Scott's just not in the same class, and referee South African is English. I love your Afrikaans name, says Carol Ann. Rugby law's changing so often, nobody actually knows what they can and can't do anymore. Genuinely believe that to be an issue. Never seen Hamish disappointed before, says Story. And Timo needs a permanent red card, says the farm. But yeah, half-time in this matchup, 19 points to 9. It's been an eventful first half. We've seen a red card. We've seen a disallowed try. We've seen some great work, though, every once in a while. Like, Villy LaRue, I think, had the best half out of anyone out there on the field. Can't use Google Pay on a sticker, says Robert V. Is that right? I didn't know that was a thing, and TMO needs a permanent red card. I should mention we have got a goal thingy for this live stream, ladies and gents. We are going to be putting it out there. If we get the 10 of whatever the donation goal was, we are then going to be doing 30 minutes extra build-up next week. So, I don't know. If you guys like hearing me talk before a game, we would end up having the extra 30 on top of what we were already going to be going with, to be sure to check that out. But if you are new, of course, be sure to also hit that subscribe button. Halftime, we will get some stats to do with this contest as well. But yeah, eventful, I think, is the best way of describing the first 40 minutes. 14 for Scotland playing, 16 for the Box, says Cal Mack. And they need some stability in the laws and in the refereeing, and South Africa clumsy looking. And that's the thing, there was always going to be a bit of rust for the South Africans, because at the end of the day, this is their first game in the November International. We love hearing you talk, says Shazza. And if the Springboks win, I'm not going to work for a week, says Ruben. Johnny Walker needed at halftime. And a very unlucky, says Raffle Sia. They're not a free-flowing game, very frustrating, says Cranked in Gear. And who do you think will win? I think South Africa will win this game. My prediction of 29 points to 22, or 21, sorry. I feel like it's not looking awful at this current point in time. But I think Scotland just need a little bit of luck, don't they? What's the live odds? At the moment for this game, as it currently sits, Scotland are only $8 underdogs. I find that a little bit surprising. I thought they might have been a little bit more than that, but currently not sitting too badly in terms of those betting odds. Scotland, or box leaking points, says Anthony. Refs are only human and also make mistakes, but mistakes in slow-mo is not acceptable. Suspend ref team of what the player would get, says Kobus. We have got the first half went by so quickly. It always does. Like when we get to see these two sides go head-to-head, or in fact most of the games throughout this weekend, we've seen just absolutely fly by. My TV is off, that's why I'm here, says Leo. Well, I do appreciate you being here for this live stream. There are a few broadcasters around, but quite a few of them are paid subscriptions, so we always like to do these on YouTube as a bit of a free alternative. Looking through at the stats, 56% possession in favour of the South Africans, 52% for the territory. So both of those stats in favour of the Box. 3 tries coming. 2 for Makazole Mapimpi, 1 for Thomas Detoy. 3 penalties all being scored by Scotland to give them their 9 points. At the moment in the meters made, 170 for the Springboks compared to 129 of Scotland. 7 defenders beaten for each side, and also 3 clean breaks for South Africa compared to 1 that we have seen of the Scottish. The tackle success, both teams tackling at 88%. South Africa making 52 of their 59. Scotland making 51 of their 58. So very close. Do we like to hear you talk? Is that a question? We are here, aren't we? Says Lilia B. Yeah, although some people do get a little bit sick of me after a little while. Although some of you guys have stuck around for years as well. What channel, says Sophia? Super Sport have got it. I can't remember exactly 2-0 something. I think it is for Super Sport. I don't feel like I completely know what's really happening in this game. No offense. If we talk most of the time, it's like I have to guess what's happening. Says Jocelyn, we will try our best to give you a little bit more information about it as well. Because we have tried having like a pitch map, but then that didn't work because it was so far ahead that it would pretty much show what happened before it did. I respect to New Zealand on Remembrance Day, says Russell there. And also 2-1-1, says Sakabula, and I love the Scottish crowd. Yeah, they're well and truly invested in this game. We've seen some good ruck success at the moment from the Springboks, 97%. Just the one kick coming from Andre Pollard. Is it just me, or is Quagga too small to start at 8? He always plays poorly as a starter. Well, the thing is, the logical... Of course, I don't want to question Rassi Erasmus because he obviously knows a lot more about what he's doing than I would, but just Eldrick Lowe seemed like the obvious choice at number 8 if you're putting Quagga in the starting lineup. Like, surely you put Quagga 7 and you put Eldrick Lowe at 8, seeing as Eldrick Lowe has played 8 throughout the rest of this year. It just seems weird to not just put Quagga in his maybe secondary position, but also put Eldrick Lowe in what would be either his secondary or third position as well. Quagga is never too small, says Derek. Mostert is showing a lot of rust. Yeah, he's dropped the ball a lot, Mostert. The lineouts haven't been clean, but it hasn't cost them as of yet. And I'd say when Argas Neyman makes his way onto the field, that is when we're going to see some real impact. Definitely with that 7-1 split being in action for the Boks. Will Fuff be coming back into the team one day? Yeah, I think he'll be there next year. It's just been a little bit longer. Unfortunately, Leslie has said, Amish, I thought you'd wear your Springbok tie. Says Leslie, I still need to invest in one. I've got one that's like green and gold, but then the green doesn't work on the green screen. And territory position, says Gus, at the moment it is half-time, but 52% territory in favour of the South Africans. And come on the Bok, you are great, says Patricia. I won't so much drop ball this weekend too. It's super frustrating. I'm also playing bad. Yeah, look, he's shown a little bit of rust as well. But, it's always that saying of, if you can play badly and still be leading, or you can play badly and still win, that shows signs of a great side. They're up by 10 at the moment, and yes, there's been a lot of, I guess you could say, controversy and stuff that's happened throughout that first 40 minutes, but they've still finished some pretty solid tries. Like Vili LaRue assisting Makazole Mapimpi. He's doing very well. I'm watching TV on silent and listen to your awesome commentary set. Thank you very much, Peter. Why can't we like comments? I think the only comments that you can like is the ones that are donations. And you can also reply to donations. But yeah, in terms of general comments, I feel like that would be an interesting thing for them to add. I guess it's quite hard to keep track though. But you guys are reading the comments as I'm reading them. So yeah, it would be quite cool to have some sort of feature like that. To win the Boks, you have to be a machine, says Chris. Impressed at how you roll your R's, says Armin. Thank you very much. I like how I tried to roll them for both of those and didn't actually manage to. But yeah, there's a few names that it rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But I've noticed as I've done more South African games, I'll just be talking to people in real life outside of the streams. And yeah, I end up rolling the R's now. And also I get a bit of that going for qua, that sound. And I love your commentaries. And also we have got there, yes, so let's get the donations go up a bit, says Kerr. So yeah, anyone who does want to, it is greatly appreciated. You get your little message up on the screen. You do not have to, though. It is not compulsory at all. I should mention Kerr has been a very generous individual over the last few weeks as well on the streams, which is why you will see his name popping up often throughout these streams. No matter how many games South Africa win, they'll never be gracious in victory, unfortunately. Says Kerr, winning is calling for the Bok. Mapimpi's first try shouldn't have counted. Says Mr. Orange, for what would you disallow it, Mr. Orange, out of curiosity? What's happening, bro? Game tracking nicely to make it a Southern Hemisphere clean sweep. Yeah, there's been some brilliant results for the Southern Hemisphere all throughout this weekend. Fiji getting their first ever win in Cardiff. New Zealand beating Ireland. England losing to Australia. No one really saw that one coming. We don't cheat, says Kitty there. And best New Zealand analysis and commentary I've seen, Kiwi. Says Kieran, his arm was over the line. Says Mr. Orange, as in over the try line or the touch line. I thought he had a metre or so between him and the sideline. You would think I'm an American when I speak, even though I'm South African. And I'm a flight to Dallas and can only access your channel. Thank you, says Ian. So hopefully the flight is going well. How long is your flight, Ian? Is it, where were you coming from to get to Dallas? And Kerr, the same for your AB's teammate. Says, good old. Kerr is not from New Zealand. Appreciate your commentary, says Graham. Thank you very much. And we have got there in the chat, Scotland getting bad decisions again. I always seem to get bad calls and TMO decisions against top-ranked teams. Talking about cheating, who has the red card, says Charles there. Yeah, that was an interesting moment, wasn't it? Scott Cummings getting the red, even though it was Rory Darge who did end up doing the infringement in the breakdown. I guess that has kind of, like, in terms of the line-out, it hasn't been as crisp for Scotland since losing their main jumper. 3 cheers for Rory Kerr, says Jimbo in the chat as well. Thank you very much for your donation. My AB's team, I'm confused, says Kerr. I do more comments benefit you, says Robert. I honestly don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. I think it would a little bit in terms of like more, I guess, what's it called? Like more engagement is good for like YouTube because they'll be like, oh, okay, we'll push it out to more people. We have good there. Hear this bloke roll the R's with the Fijian names, top notch. Actually, all the Pacific nations or Pacifica teams. Respect, says Naz Williams. Oh, we have good there. Someone is pretending to be Cool Story Bro. Can you ban him, please? Says Mr. Marmite. I'll probably accidentally ban the actual Cool Story Bro, which would be a bit of a mistake. Whoever thinks Bok's cheap, you must be lying. Who agrees with me? Bok is always the best, says Nabi there. And we have good there. There's no way the Boks can lose this one, says Eric. Caleb Muntz was missed in the World Cup last year. Yeah, massive shame for him not being there. Unfortunately, we got the £10 from Kerr as well. 4 big cheers for Jimbo. Are you guys just going to go back and forth cheering for each other? Either way, we do thank you very much for the generosity on the channel. Of course, plenty more coming up in the future, ladies and gentlemen. Shoot a likes for your stuff to get promoted. Remember to hit the like. You guys help Hamish out. Yeah, and that's something we probably don't ask for enough is you guys to hit the like button. So if you are new, be sure to hit it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Next week, it is hectic, ladies and gentlemen. These are the games that happened this week, so we're going to put them away. But these are all the games that are happening next week. Ireland versus Argentina on Saturday morning. That will be Friday night for you guys in South Africa. Scotland play Portugal. And that is going to be on Sunday. South Africa versus England. France versus New Zealand. And then also Wales versus Australia is that one that is hiding down the bottom. So some interesting matches to come up in the near future. I'm looking forward to all of them. We're going to be covering as many of them as we can as well. Am I an Aussie? I am not an Aussie, no. Let's get him to 100k. Says AJ, yes. Are you from America or South Africa? Neither. I am from New Zealand. So yeah, almost. Nuclear squad at 55 minutes, says Gavin Van Vesthuizen. Yep, that's I believe that will be the plan for Rassie. I honestly think he might end up taking off maybe Quagga earlier. I know that sounds harsh, but I guess it's his 50th game. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one because he has made a lot of errors. I think Mostert might come off as well sooner than we think. But then saying that, Rassie might look to use him a little bit longer to try and help him find his rhythm and his form. But looking through at the benches for these two sides, of course, that 7-1 split is going to be in play for South Africa. Malcolm Marx, Gerhard, Stennekamp, and Vincent Koch as the number 18, Snyman, Kolisi, Detoy, and Visser, all the other replacement forwards. And then Grant Williams, the only man, as the replacement back. For Scotland, they have already had to make a change. Max Williamson is on the field. That is due to the red card of Scott Cummings, or should I say Rory Darge. But yeah, he is going to be possibly... I'm so curious to know what happens in that scenario. I'm going to very closely be monitoring. That's a hard word to say. Get the mouth in the right place. Yeah, I'll be watching it closely to see what happens with that one. How's it, Hamish? Says Greg Gore. Welcome in. Away, some of you so common. A little respect where your language is concerned. Says Michelle. I wanted to see you cover Italy versus Argentina. Yeah, it ended up being pretty one-sided in favour of the Pumas. I was quite surprised with how much they won that by. How large is your production crew, Hamish? It is just me. But like the Kiwi lads as a whole, there are 4 of us, but I don't think any of the other 3 have been on the channel or involved in the channel for about a year. Like we still hang out a lot, but it's just more so they're doing their own type of thing. So yeah, it's just me, which is fun. But then I also like to consider you guys a bit in terms of the production of this, because at the end of the day, when there's silence, you guys fill it, because you guys write comments and just make these live streams so much fun to do. Who will win? Says Bagan. At the moment, I do think that South Africa have got the big advantage. Ouch, hurts calling a New Zealander Australian. And we have got there, I stop saying Bok cheat in there from Navy, and the Bok will win. And we like you, says One Pierre. Cheers. Only losers cheat, that's why the Boks win, says Charles. And honorary Kiwi lad, says Kerr. And there as well. And I see Arge the Viking is on. Yeah, we're just about to see who else has made their way onto the park. Yep, so he is on for Franco Mostert. That makes sense, seeing as Mostert did definitely not have his strongest showing. And please, says Marius. And we have got there, Hamish, can you put stats on the screen? I have just, I read through them at the start, but I can give you a few of them quickly before the second half gets underway. We're only about maybe half a second or half a minute away, but in terms of the possession, more for South Africa, more for the South Africans in territory as well. They had 7 defenders beaten, each of these sides. Clean breaks were 3-1 in favour of the Boks, and then also alongside that, 170 metres carried for them as well. You're giving a 2-hour speech to 3,000 people live. They're sinking for a minute. I would rather not think of it that way because I feel like I can't public speak, which is really weird why this works. But then I guess it's still the environment of I am in a room where it's just me and I can't see what faces you guys are making. You guys could be rolling your eyes going, geez, this guy talks too much and all sorts. But because I can't see you doing it, it's the easier part of it. Almost halfway to the goal, says Kerr. That is true. I'd guess Neyman, that one has actually gone straight through his hands and has hit Quagga Smith in the face, and it's a knock-on against the South Africans. So now Quagga has had 2 drop balls since the start of this game, I believe. 10 hours from London. I'm South African, says Ian. Geez, long flight there. Hopefully you have enjoyed listening so far. 39 minutes remaining. Ben White shifts it away to the left-hand side. Sione Tuipulotu tries to go through. The ball is still there. Switching. Oh, Pierre Scorman almost got cleaned up. That's going to be counted as a knock-on, I would think, from the South Africans. It is not deliberate, I don't think. You know, you're awesome, Hamish, says Shaz. He's a Kiwi, says a Leon. And Quagga dropping his balls again, says Gavin. Yeah, so quite a few mistakes from Quagga. And that's the thing. For a milestone game, it's certainly one that he probably will want to forget. In terms of normally we see him come off the bench and that's where his impact is massive. But I don't see them starting him up against England. I think that will be Sia Khaleesi, Pieter-Steph Toy and Jasper Wiese. I can't wait for Pieter-Steph to come on. Yeah, to have him fresh for a second half is massive here for the South Africans. We got another donation. Thank you very much, Nadine. I appreciate the commentary. I hope you feel better and get some sleep. Here's Nadine. Yeah, we've still got a little bit of the day left. Another penalty, this time to Scotland. Do they take 3 here? But yeah, we got the post-match review, of course, that we will be doing. Then we're filming, I think it's 2 or 3 more videos. And then after that, we will be into having a bit of a spell. Now lining up the 3 points. Seems like a risky choice to just go for the 3. We got like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Plenty more streams to come. Smash those buttons. Says Kerr there. Milestones and rugby don't go well together. Best not to celebrate it. And Quagga is a bencher. And OMG Quagga Y. I hope that Quagga scores a try today, says Hillary. Currently, you're sitting 3 from 3 here, Finn Russell. But this is a different Scottish tactic. Up against Fiji last week, they were kicking for the corner every chance they got. And the thing is, even with this going over, this will still put them down by 7. With 7 players coming up, we should end up between 50 and 60 point benchmark, says Gerald. I don't know why Quagga starts. It's just silly. It is for the fact that it's his 50th game. It's kind of more of a, giving him the chance to, I guess, soak in the atmosphere, because they did it with Vincent Koch as well for his 50th game. Frans Malherbe gave up his spot so that Vincent Koch could get that limelight. But I still think that Quagga would have got a big cheer coming off the bench for this game. Currently sitting about 40 metres out. Hayden, you're not going to please people all the time. Keep doing what you're doing. Our box look a bit scrappy. Not sure why. I think get some stick at half time. Now Bongi Umbanambi Another line out. First points on the board after half-time is psychological. I love your show. Keep it. Says Jabulani. 40 metres out. Maka van starting off to Andre Esterhuizen. We haven't really seen a huge amount of the 12s in this game. Oh, Arges Neyman once again gets a solid offload away. 44 minutes gone. Andre tries the little grubber in behind. Only goes 5 metres out from their own line here, Scotland, but the ball is in position. Always take the 3 points. That's why Australia won yesterday. There's Daryl on time for Jesper Quagga. Has had his normal game time, says Gavin. Will they bring on the bomb squad soon? They have currently made the one switch, which is Arges Neyman. He is out there on the field. In terms of that other switch, I don't think we'll be a mile off seeing about 3 or 4 of them make their way onto the field. Ben White. Roll this one back. He has been told to use it already. Good. It said show the game. Sadly, it is illegal. Show the match footage on YouTube without the broadcasting rights. Oh, yep, here we go. We're about to see 6 changes all at once. We're going to get to see Gerhard Stennekamp, Vincent Koch, Malcolm Marx, Sia Khaleesi, Jasper Visa, and Peter Steph Dutoy. Met with a mixed reception by the sounds of it from the crowd. Some liking it, some not. And O'Dea says Adam. Now pretty much bringing on about 3 or 4 guys that could easily start in this game. Malcolm Marx, he will have to get his first line-out throw right. This is ridiculous. He's not your everyday cultist. I can see the articles already. I know that they were complaining when they used to bring on 5 at a time. How about 6? Now throwing this one in, Arges Neyman claims it nicely. First touch of the day for Malcolm Marx. The back of the rolling. Oh, he's fallen down to his knee, so he now has to play it. They aren't allowed to go forward, and Jaden Hendrickse has knocked the ball on at the back of the rolling maul. So a bit of a lackluster first one for the bomb squad, it would seem. Oh, and a bit of push and shove. Etzebeth and Xander Fagerson going back and forth here. Not sure what's been said, but something's fired up both of them. Eben was trying to wrestle him down. Xander's still smiling. Eben is smiling with his wide eyes as he does. Back to your own sides. And now the captains are going to get called over by the sounds of it. South Africa holding off, I reckon, says Kieran. And I believe in you, says Naby. And ladies and gentlemen, introducing Malcolm Marx. What a name. And that's a mean bench. Okay. So because Etzebeth escalated that situation, it now means that it will be a penalty against South Africa, rather than just being the knock-on. Finn Russell will be able to kick this one towards the touchline. And Nuka's on the way. And with all the laws regarding player safety, I'm surprised they don't limit substitutions at the same time. More dangerous than the red card roll in the first half. Yeah, Etzebeth wrestles Xander Fagerson down to the ground, so I'm not sure what was said. Fagerson was smiling the whole time, but it's worked perfectly, whatever it was, because now Scotland have got themselves the line out. Going in, every day it's the best ball at the front. And now Peter Steph Dutoy, his first carry of the day. Wrestled down by Finn Russell. Hendrickse goes back across to Arges Neyman. Tries the offload, finds Andre Pollard. 40 metres out from the line. Back across, Peter Steph Dutoy. Second carry in quick succession by him. Xander Fagerson trying to get over the ball, wasn't quite able to. Andre Esterhuizen. I called him a haggis-eating fellow. And reset to South Africa. We need less laws, not more, says Tyrone. Now Hendrickse back across to Andre Pollard. Peter Steph Dutoy picked up and dropped by Xander Fagerson. Ball's out, Arges Neyman. Matt Fagerson makes the hit on him. The crowd are getting behind them. That's a knock-on from Hendrickse again. The pressure's on. All Marks now pushing Matt Fagerson. Pointing the finger as well. Is he still on the field, says Shaz? Who are we talking about? Mapimpi? He is, yes. All right, counter ruck coming from Scotland. Jaden Hendrickse dropping the ball, looking good aim, says Levi. Mate, you're going to need to talk quicker because the Bok is winning, says Rhea. Yeah, that's strategic. Pierre Schoeman just pushing Malcolm Marx's leg back onto Hendrickse, and then the ball was dropped. The stuff is on, boys. Let's have some fun. Well, here's some fun incoming. It's far from over. Scotland seem to be holding South Africa within sight. Lots of you forced errors, or unforced errors, which means South Africa is under pressure, says Scarber. Pass the ball to the wings to score, says Hillary. About to be fed in here from Ben White. 48 minutes in at the moment. Still plenty of time remaining, and once again the scrum has gone down in the front row. Now, new front row for the Springboks, so I think they'll be a little bit lenient for the first one. I've just heard in a South African accent, I think it was a South African accent, someone said, ridiculous. I can't do a South African accent. I've just proven that. I could have tried a Scottish one, but it would have been worse. What was the Fiji score? Fiji getting themselves to win by 5, I believe, in the end for that game. Hendrickse is Scotland's best player at the moment, says WLK. Now, ready to feed this ball in again and bring on Williams so we can inject some speed into the back line. I think they're a bit hesitant to change Williams just yet. Oh, free kick to South Africa again at scrum time, but the reason for that is because they have no other injury cover off the bench. In fact, they have no other subs off the bench at the moment. All 7 of the forwards have made their way on. South Africa back with the ball in hand. Here comes Eben Etzebeth. Wrestled down. Now Hendrickse back across to Argus and gets it away to Pollard. Rush defence from Scotland, but they're outnumbered on the outside. Here comes Lucanio. Gets another offload to Esterhuizen, risks it all and drops that ball. Does go backwards though. So still on the side of South Africa. About 30 metres out from the line, shifting left. Malcolm Marx hits it up. Again, Pollard. We haven't seen any cross kicks attempted as of late, but now cross kick. Or sorry, not cross kick, wide cutout pass attempted. Mapimpi gets too much, but it's gone out. And it's actually considered as a knock-on back there. Kick straight out, so it will be Springboks scrum here again. And this is where it gets dangerous for Scotland. It's not so bad when they've got the feed, but when South Africa have the feed, you have to hold them off for an extremely long time to not get any sort of advantage against you. Come on, the Springboks says, is the way. And we really have the dropsies today. Yeah, both sides are showing signs of dropping the ball quite often. We're into the last 30 minutes. South African commentator just saying there that Scotland's starting to lie on the ground to time waste. But it looks like a little bit of strapping going on Eben Etzebeth's foot as well. Would be interesting if Scotland try wasn't ruled out, says Kerr. Could have been a whole different story, but it is one of those ones. There's been a lot of little decisions in this game and little mistakes from both teams that have just, score at the moment, I think probably isn't too bad in terms of representing how this game's gone, but it could look very different at the same time. Having an apartheid, says Shaz. Yeah, we're just waiting for them to get the scrum underway. It's taken about 2 minutes. Needs to be dislodged, says Derek. And also we have got there is a ball and you catch it, says Adam. We got a gift of membership from Paul Maxey. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated for your gift in the membership. Which nations do you see making the most progress in the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, Argentina at the moment do look really solid, and they look like they're going leaps and bounds. Like the fact that they beat every side in the Rugby Championship once, that's massive for a side like Argentina. I think Italy, they were a little bit rough up against Argentina, but they still have potential with a young squad to be able to really develop nicely. Now, big run from Lucanio. Sitting 15 metres out. Hendrickse knocked the ball on for a third time in the breakdown. I don't think they'll be too far away from making that sub, but now kicking it downfield. Blair Kinghorn goes back infield. Willie LaRue has to get back to cover. Well covered, and that is a penalty to South Africa for playing the man on the ground. Just not smart. Once again, that doesn't make sense. Why would Scotland time waste when they are behind, says Ian. Yeah, I found it a bit confusing as well, to be honest. And thank you for your great commentary. Explains it really well, says Patricia, but now kick towards the touchline. 45 metres out from their own line. South Africa will have the feed. Hendrick support tonight. Yeah, he's looked really shaky out there on the field. What's the blue thing next to my name? What does it mean? You are a moderator, Naz Williams. So you get fancy powers. In the chat, Jurgo the box, says Daniel. And looking like the championship clean sweep over the Six Nations will be complete, says Geza. Yeah, unless something drastic changes soon here, it does seem like the momentum will be completely with the South going into next week. Sia Khaleesi, first run there. Did some Scott put money in Hendricks' bank account? I mean, your special, says Kerr there. Nice take from Kane and Moody. And that's somewhere that South Africa have had, I think, quite the advantage in this game. We've seen a lot of high balls go on the way of South Africa in terms of being able to catch it or tap it back onto their side. We haven't seen Scotland claim too many. Handré Pollard goes out to Sia Khaleesi, drops the ball, but it actually ends up falling into the hands of Makazole Mapimpi. Hendricks are looking to the short side to Malcolm Marks. He bumps off Xander Fagerson. Scotland looking for the turnover in the breakdown, but they have lost their footing. So Khaleesi will play halfback. You should have a paying job doing this, mistake, says Scarborough. Thank you very much. At this point, Scotland's best plan is don't let anyone have a plan, go wild, says Kerr. They've lost the ball there for the spring. What was that? Hendrickson just got flipped around and did like a somersault. Like it wasn't even like an over-the-top flip. It was like a 180 while falling. It was quite impressive. I don't know how he did it. I think he was thrown, but yeah, he got twisted. That's ever 10, North, nothing. Has anyone asked Hamish what pants he has on? I already showed my pants earlier on. That looked like a knock-on in the breakdown. Now Hendrickson will roll this ball back 40 metres out from their line. Willie LaRue sinking the left slipper into it, looking for the 50-22. Now kick downfield from Finn Russell, just more of a stalling kind of kick, although it's actually ended up being very handy. Willie LaRue having to clean it up, only a metre out from his line now. We'll boot it to touch. We have got there, what is the answer to the 7-1 split? I mean, we haven't really seen the 7-1 split do too much yet, so we'll have to wait for the end to really know what kind of impact it will have. But, like, the answer to it's just to not get psyched out by it. At the end of the day, like, it's 7-1, right? And 6-2, normally it's like, oh, that's quite scary. But if you are confident in your back replacements and you are more of a team that like to run the ball, then you should be fine. You know, you just can't let it be the thing that you think about so much that it makes you make mistakes. Hamish, are you Scottish? You sound Scottish the way you roll your R's. Says Sid, I am not, no. Not that maybe like really, really far down the line. What a terrible game, says Teacup. Please play the match, not this live match, says Nawabisa. Unfortunately, due to licensing, any match footage or audio, you get taken straight off YouTube. You're not alone. I'm a South African and I can't imitate a South African or an Afrikaans accent, says Karine there. And how much time left? Still another 26 minutes remaining between these two sides. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back next week with plenty more games. South Africa, they will be playing up against the English in what will be a semi-final with a World Cup rematch. Okay, Christoph Ridley just saying there to South Africa to respect the assistant and give a gap at line-out time. They've gone to the front on the halfway line. Back in behind to Sione Tuipolotu. Just hasn't had the ball enough. I don't think Xander Fagerson. Great inside ball to Duan Fundamuva. That is a maybe try-saving tackle from Eben Etzebeth. Now Xander Fagerson round the side of the breakdown. Khaleesi tries to strip the ball. Grant Gilchrist, won't be him, will be, I believe that's Max Williamson, who does have that ball. Pierre Skurman sold the dummy, but then runs it himself. 22 metres out from the line here for Scotland. In behind. This is a great backline movement for Scotland on this near side of the field. Tom Jordan wrestled down. A massive contact coming in the breakdown. Scotland calling for an offside penalty. Referee says play on. The knee is down, so they do have to release him. Now only 5 metres in. It's the drop ball from Matt Fagerson. That was the chance for Scotland to get back into it. Do you ever sleep? Not a huge amount. Like, I got 6 hours sleep last night, which was like really solid. The 2 nights before were probably like 2 hours and 3 hours or something like that. We have got there the King guys is squirting in their pants. There's John Henry. And we have got there Shoes says Pierre Skurman. And back to the only way for Scotland to gain ground on the deficit. And this game is kind of boring, brew. Says Miss. Yeah, I think game of the weekend still has to go to England versus Australia. Like, that game for me was the pick of them. Yeah, just dropping the ball there. Xander Ferguson. Didn't matter that he had all the tape on the fingers. Still slipped through. Scots playing one man down. They are not. 15 on 15. 20-minute red card rule was in effect for these November internationals. So about 30 minutes in, they were back to 15. Yes, Australia versus England was crazy. Says Geza. And come on, guys. Eben, you go, boys, says Felicity. Yeah, brilliant last-ditch tackle from Eben Etzebeth to stop Duan van der Merwe from breaking through. And Tonga have made great progress in rugby league. I could have beaten the Kangaroos. And also, bloody hell, South Africa always give their fans a hard time. Says cool story, bro. Now Jaden Hendrickson to put the ball in. He'll just want to... Oh, that's a big push in the advantage now for the Springboks. Oh, and then Etzebeth... Oh, sorry, not Etzebeth. Peter Steph the Toy, I think, sat on Etzebeth's head. Which was not ideal. Etzebeth's wiping his nose. Boxer amazing, says Derek. And need a try now, says Netta. Yeah, I think that if the Springboks can score now, they aren't going to lose this game. Oh, keeping the ball in the field of play for Scotland. And another mistake made. Been plenty of them all throughout this game. Pierre Skurman with a flat pass there. 24 minutes remaining. Scotland have a great backline. They want to use it here. Here comes Hugh Jones with some pace. Rough pass, though, over the head of Duan van der Merwe. And now it's going to be another line out. Has it been a good game? It's been good at times. Like, I won't go out there and say it's been, like, a game of the year candidate. Like, it's been a far away from that, but it hasn't been, like, awful either. Like, there's been some good moments. It's just been very stop-start because of all the handling errors that we've seen. Scots have given up? I don't think so. I think that little play that we saw there shows that they're still trying something. It's just very difficult to get that momentum. Oh, stolen again by Scotland. And tell you what, they've had a fair bit of the ball in the last 5 minutes or so. Backline movement. Numbers to the right. Finn Russell tries the cross kick and it's gone straight into the hands of Kinghorn. Inside ball to Hugh Jones. Steps through two. Spins through another. Gets through Villy LaRue. And another. How many men can that man beat? But then almost turned over for Kane Moody. They will go short side there. Oh, Villy LaRue. Yeah, he's going to get an offside advantage against them there. Just ended up in the wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately for him. Scotland still trying everything. Finn Russell gets it away, but Hugh Jones beat like 5 defenders just off that last run. 57 in, still under penalty advantage. Max Williamson takes the hit. Now short ball goes to Duan van der Merwe. He shoves off Gerhard Stennekamp. Eventually wrestled down by Etzebeth and Russell with the ball through the legs. Oh, that was lucky. It went backwards for Villy LaRue. And they are still under penalty advantage, I should mention. That looked a bit high from Etzebeth. Might have been head on head there. But they might have a look at, they'll go back for the original penalty. Etzebeth is back up, which is good to see. But this game is completely broken down in the last 3 minutes to just all over the place. Oh. It's a yellow card by the sounds of it for the Springboks. You brilliant as this young man. You come up first when I search Scotland versus South Africa. Says Run River. Thank you very much, mate. But yeah, Makazole Mapimpi, he will go to the bin for 10 minutes now. Or will he? No, sorry. Wait. Yep, it is a yellow card. I thought for a second they might have been bringing on Grant Williams for him, but they've kicked this one for the corner. And now chance for the rolling maul. 5 metres out from the line. Is this going to be like Glasgow when they were playing in the URC in South Africa? How they fired back late. Chaos, scrappy fight for the win, says Kerr. Yeah, Makazole Mapimpi in the offside position, thrown over the top. Ewan Ashman not claimed though by Scotland, and they make the big error, although there was no knock on, which does mean they'll still try and fight for this ball again. Scotland have to make this count, but they certainly did not And a good clearing kick from Andre Pollard. They have to reset now. Oh, no, they don't. They've gone quickly. Finn Russell, ball off to Blair Kinghorn, running across the field now. And hit hard by Vincent Koch. They're trying to hold him up as a rolling maul, but he has found his way to the ground. Jack Dempsey passes back across to Scotland. The Springboks starting to hold back. Great pass there for Tom Jordan. Just couldn't get the pass, although he's still going there, Jordan. 5 metres, in fact 10 from the line now for Scotland with a man advantage. Kolisi wanted the turnover, couldn't get it. Numbers here yet again. Etzebeth scrambling. Complete and utter chaos between these two sides at the moment. And playing the 9, that's bad. Oh, double blow of the whistle so they can't score. This is going to be... Oh... Tell you what, he's gone double blow of the whistle. Matt Fagerson was over the try line, and now if he doesn't give a yellow for this, that does seem like that was a missed opportunity for Scotland to score. Because Matt Fagerson pretty much was over. Okay, Sione Tuipulotu's just saying there, they've given away 2 penalties out from the line, mate. He's kind of got an Australian accent. Sione Tuipulotu, I also can't do one of those very well. A big shot to the head of Ben White. He does not look flash at the moment. It's always the short people, says Derek. And we have got there another miserable game for South African fans to suffer through, win or lose. Never can pull away. And what has happened? So yeah, it is 5 metres out from the line. Penalty for... What? Oh. Tell you what, South Africa will be... I almost thanks Scotland for this. Scotland are taking 3 points from straight out in front. Here's what is with all the YouTube ads. I would ask YouTube. I'm not in charge of that side of things. Should have gone for the try, says Cameron. Definitely with the man advantage, but I guess they want to reset, get within the 7. And now the score, it is going to be 15 points to 19. And the Bucks playing like amateurs. Come on, guys, you can do better, says Florence. And 24-19. Says Nathan Erasmus for the score prediction. And come on the box. Come on, boys. Says Elizabeth. Looks like the changes are about to be made. Dylan Richardson onto the field. That is for Ewan Ashman. Rory Sutherland out there for Skurman. And Richie is on the field for Jamie Darge, who could have been further from the field. Of course, he could have already been off earlier on. But South Africa now going to be kicking this one off with Andre Pollard. Still 19 minutes remaining and 7.5 of the yellow card. Oh, Finn Russell takes that one, called early and loud, so Dempsey got out of it. Kick downfield, 30 metres from the line. It's going to be a line out for South Africa. The 7-1 split is going to backfire. The world has figured out this tactic. Look at Scotland, they're keeping the forwards running, says Cameron Kay, and that's Scotland's natural game. 84% possession throughout the last 10 minutes. They love running the ball and getting it through their hands in the back line because, like you said, it's going to tire out anyone who has to chase that much. Oh, Mark's almost with the pump fake there when that came to the line-out throw. But Sia Khaleesi wrestled down. Max Williamson. Oh, he got the turnover penalty again. Scotland have 90% of momentum at the moment, just like they've had possession throughout this last little while. Oh, you're in for an upset. Tell you what, if you're looking at who's playing better in the second half, it doesn't seem out of the question. When is it ending at what times? Currently 62 minutes through this game. Still another 18 minutes remaining. Springboks have had 13 handling errors, they've just said. I think that was throughout this game. No, surely not. Maybe that was combined. Yeah, Sia Khaleesi getting a good pick and go off the back of the rolling maul, but sadly just didn't have anyone there to support him. He's tried to play Tony Ball and forget the rest. Starting pack not finishes, says Anthony. Now thrown into the front. Nicely done by Scotland, knowing that Etzebeth is in that line out. Always makes it tricky. Nice run forward from Jack Dempsey. Numbers to this left-hand side. Again, they will go with a pick and goes. Oh, that's Lucanio Arms penalty. Gets one back for his side. That's probably, I don't want to be harsh, but that might be the best thing that Lucanio Arms has done and might be one of the only good things that he's done today as well. In terms of like a real game-changing moment, he's dropped the ball a few times, unfortunately for him, but that is a very good moment for Lucanio Arms. WF for the Box doing? Says red line there. Could even have been a basketball player. Says, guess it maybe. I mean, I'd guess Neyman out of all the players for the Springboks, if you were to pick someone to be a basketball player, you would pick him. Come on. Springboks are playing bad. Says Lutho. 5 minutes left of that yellow card. Amakazoli Mapimpi. At least the ref knows his whistle works. There's a zero connection. Dempsey looks like he's got a bit of a shoulder injury here. 8 carries, 8 tackles made, and 43 metres made for him as well. It sounds like they might actually change him here. We got there, Scotland won't score a try. Oh, what's happening with the voice? That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Whereas our bomb squad, they've come on the field and they, honestly, like, I don't want to sound too critical, but they haven't made that much difference. Scrum time, absolutely. Lineouts, you could make the argument, yes. But at the same time, Etzebeth has been the main reason that they've been able to get those lineout steals later on. So, you know, it just takes a bit longer, I think, to gel when you bring on so many players at the same time. You lose all sort of chemistry that you already had out there on the park. Now, line-out throw here for Malcolm Marks. And it's claimed by Peter Steph Toy. Believe it or not, Aragis Neyman played fly half in primary school. That is surprising. Well, how tall was he back then? Was he, of course, not as tall as he is now, I would assume. Oh, straight on the ball for Scotland. Okay, they're going back for the line out. Someone pulled on an arm. See, this is where I feel like Hondre Pollard will take the 3. And then you're in that situation, you're still down by, no, they're going to kick for the, no, they're going to go for the post. I thought for a second the line out was coming, but that is not the case. Our Rockstar players being rested for the England game. Says Shaz. We have got their Springboks doesn't give a about the rankings. Says Martin. Oh, tell you what, you can tell we've done a bit of talking over the weekend, can't you? Doesn't sound great, but we've only got 16 minutes remaining of this one. Oh, yep, Andre Pollard. 2 from 3 at the moment, 45 metres out. Are you sure that's water, Hamish? Slightly burned the throat there, says Lilia B. How long left? Still another 15 minutes remaining at the time that this kick will be taken. And this will once again give the South Africans the 7-point lead. If Pollard can get it over, has curled it round nicely, 22 points to 15. My prediction is still well and truly on, but not really. Actually, no, never mind, because Scotland, they would be very silly to take 2 threes here to get them to the 21 that I predicted. But I did go Springboks by 8, and we're currently not a mile off that. There, you've gone and ruined the friendship, says Marius. And also we have got there, the time on this game feels like time reversing. Definitely compared to the first half. Oh, South Africa missing the ball off kickoff, but it has bounced into the hands of Khaleesi. Yeah, definitely a bit of rust there for South Africa. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You want to get this one out of the way and know that even if you're struggling and you can still win, like they'll be happy enough, I would think. Jaden Hendrickson, though, I'm surprised he's been given as many minutes as he has, but I think that is because they've only got the one back replacement, so they don't want to risk putting him off and then not having anyone else to be able to switch for him. I love you. Oh, yeah, come closer. Says GAA. Interesting. Sounds like they're having a very fun time. Who's asking if Ngume Zulu is on Rugby Casuals? Says Songwa Hambile. Now passing back across here, Scotland. Up the middle, King Hornet. Hard by Marks, who wrestles him down. 40 metres out, flat ball to Tui Palotu. He sat down Pollard big time. Now back across, White and behind there, almost an accidental shepherd. I think Gerhard Stennekamp, did he tackle someone off the ball, or was that how late he got to Matt Fagerson? Oh, that's a skip pass on the outside. Tom Jordan cutting back inwards. He's proven hard to get on the turf. Now another step coming from Grant the other starting lock. Scott Cummings? No. Yeah, no, sorry, it is Grant Gilchrist. I should have just backed myself from the get-go. If players trapping the ball is the call there. Dropping down low is Jamie Ritchie. Trying to get that last minute try here. Oh, they've got numbers. All they need to do is get it through the hands. Tui Pelotu goes on the outside. Another offload, risky there. Dylan Richardson just resets. Knew that it was getting a little bit scrappy. I think has really been the word to describe this whole game. There have been moments where it's just looked very hard-hitting, but not a lot of structure. That's a knock-on from Pollard. No, sorry, Esterhazen, but they haven't given it either. The ball is out the back, Eben Etzebeth. Now 12 minutes remaining. Not much in this game. Exactly right. Like both of these sides still have a very good shot of being able to win it. Vili LaRue going with the up and under. Sione Tui Pelotu uncontested. Gets it. Kolisi puts in the shot on the spine. Loses his footing. So has to release it. That's also been a sentence used many times throughout this game. Now back across Finn Russell. In behind Scotland at the moment, they are still trying their backline, and it seems like South Africa are holding back, and they're kind of waiting for Scotland to do all the passes, and then they tackle them. So I feel like that's a way of trying to utilise their gas tank, not use up too much extra energy. As Mapimpi still off here, still off for another 10 seconds. Finn Russell goes with the cross kick to Tui Pelotu. That's a knock-on out wide, though. And that is going to be the end of that attack for Scotland. Now we have got there, come on the box. The Boks are divorced from this game. And Mapimpi done with his break. Yep, he will now be making his way back out onto the field. In fact, no, it will be Grant Williams as well who makes his way on. That is for Jaden Hendrickse, who I don't think has had the best game. I've just lost a lot of money. I thought we were going to clap the Bombies. Wait, as Australia won. If you're talking about England. Are you talking about that one or are you talking about... No, yeah. Which game are you talking about, Zach? Another sport, maybe? I need the Southern Hemisphere to dominate. Says okay. And how's it from Durban? Says Yardi, welcome in. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be back next week with plenty more rugby action. This game only with the 11 minutes left. It's going to be an entertaining finish. Looks like Sia Khaleesi actually has a bit of a black eye at the moment. Looks like it's swelling from the top. He's lost his blot, says Adam. About time for Hendrickse, says Gavin. Yeah, I think they just wanted to leave it as late as possible so that they didn't have the risk of no one just in case there was an injury. Bomb Squad says Nelly. I'll be honest, like I know that this isn't probably going to be a popular one, but I think that having the 6-2 split or even a 5-3 would have had the same impact as the 7-1. Just because we haven't really seen, like, the scrums, yes, like I said, but I feel like you still could have had that with just the replacement front row that they've gone with. So I don't think we'll see this experiment again for a little while. Here comes the big push from the Springboks, and that is another scrum advantage. Like I said, that is where the Bomb Squad have made that bit of a difference. Makazole Mapimpi now going to be tackled on the halfway line by Hugh Jones. Grant Williams. There's still a chance of a draw, I've realised, in this game. 7 points difference between them. Grant Williams goes off to Gerhard Stennekamp. Tackled well. Back again, Andre Pollard puts in the little chip in behind. There is space for days, and it goes into touch, but they will go back for yet again another penalty advantage against Scotland. Crowd are not too happy about it. Oh, wow, that one's on the far side of the field. No wonder they aren't too happy. Crowd at Murrayfield. We have got the Armin Mapimpi must go. Too old. Mapimpi scored 2 tries. Without Mapimpi's 2 tries, South Africa are losing this game. So, like, yes, he got a yellow card, but he's also scored 2 out of the 3 tries. The only other man to score a try has been Thomas du Toit in this game. Like, I'd agree that Lukan Joam hasn't had his best performance, but, like, in terms of Makazole Mapimpi, he's been pretty solid. Now 10 minutes left on the clock. Just ticking over that 70-minute mark. The Springboks, it looks like it's going to be about a 7-man line-out by the looks of this. And man of the match is Hamish, says Derek. And the maul time. And not everyone can make an impact as a Bomb Squad. Some guys are starters and others bring fire. Exactly right. Like sometimes, like even in this case, Pieter-Steph du Toit, right? I feel like him off the bench hasn't had the same impact as if Quagga was off the bench, for instance. Pieter-Steph du Toit obviously would be the better starter than Quagga Smith. So like you said, certain players at certain stages of the game can completely change it. And that's something that a coach does or needs to do very well, is learn what works. I'd guess Neyman. Tackled again, still 30 metres out from the line here. Eben Etzebeth chopped down by Dylan Richardson. Oh, he's been pushed in there, almost ended up with a penalty against him. Little crubber in behind from Grant Williams. Billy LaRue tries to control Tom Jordan, who is now wrestled down. That ball, it popped out on the side almost of South Africa, and knock on from Scotland. South Africa have the scrum 10 metres out from the line. If this isn't a try, I don't know what will be, because this is just the perfect spot. It has to be Quagga off the bench. And I love your analysis, mate. You're good at this. Says Song Wadwele. Thank you very much. And of course, we are going to be back next week for South Africa versus England. So anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, in about 21 hours' time, we're going to have a video coming out on the channel. And that is going to be our prediction of what we think Rassie Erasmus will select for his game up against the English. What is the score? Currently 22 points to 15 after 72 minutes. Seeing another change there. It's going to be Tom Jordan taken from the field. That is a bit of a surprise. He's had a really good game. 11 carries, 144 metres made, 4 tackle breaks, and 3 line breaks. Like, when you want a fullback to step up, that is exactly what Tom Jordan has done. Thanks for I love your work, says Adam. Thank you very much. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Educate me, please. Why do people call it the Bomb Squad? Says Teacup. So it's a bit of a nickname that the side did get. It's more so, like, I will only explain it very, like, basically, which is pretty much just, it's like a bomb hits them when they come on, because there's 6 massive forwards that normally can change a game. Looks like it's going to be a penalty now to South Africa. I think they'll call for the scrum again here. Oh, no, they'll go for the 3. Okay, no, that makes more sense. Sorry, I just get a bit excited. I thought that they might have tried to get another penalty and perhaps a yellow card, but this will give them a 10-point lead. I wonder whether or not now Scotland will be thinking back to when they had that easy 3 out in front and they took it, whether or not maybe that was when they needed to go for the corner and try and really bump it up a little bit. The first few lineouts we lost also broke our starting rhythm, says Marius. And yeah, having Franco Mostert back, like, I'll be honest, he didn't have his greatest game ever. In fact, he probably had one of his worst, but it's just what happens. Sometimes when you get back from injury, like Jameson Gibson Park for Ireland, the fact that he came back from the long injury layoff and just was straight back into his action. Caleb Muntz for Fiji, a little bit the same. Some players just need a couple more games under their belt to find that rhythm again. Now, Andre Pollard, though, as a kick, that one down the middle of the sticks, and now after 73 minutes, it is going to be 25 points to 15. See, Malcolm Marx, we're talking about the impact he can bring off the bench. He's actually another guy that, with this current Springbok setup, Marx is better off the bench than in the starting side. And I know that that also can, you know, split opinions a little bit, but I feel like if you had to pick between Umbanambi or Marx to have on the field in the last 20 minutes, you want that accuracy at line-out time, which is exactly what Marx gives you. Here comes Jasper Visa, trying to wind up a little bit there, the big man. More than likely will be starting at 8 in the next game up against the English. Vincent Koch also wrestled down, 6 minutes remaining. And this one, good grief, Hamish. Hamish, is it really 5:10 on Monday morning, you poor fellow? It is actually 6:50 a.m. This game started at 5:10, so yeah, it's a bit of a rough one, but still plenty of action left. Didn't actually see the knock on, says titty titty bang bang. Now around the side, Grant Williams. Oh, is that a knock on from Scotland this time? Here comes Malcolm Marx, a little bit high, and the tackle attempted by Josh Bayliss. Grant Williams back into the pocket to Willie LaRue, once again playing a little bit of territory, using up the time. Why do they call Quagga Smith wrong turn? No idea. My guess would be the direction of his nose, but I don't think that's it. I'd assume that there's some sort of other thing behind it. But now, almost a chance in the breakdown for Scotland. Grant Williams, once again, is going to go with the box kick. He was almost taken out a little bit late there by the man coming through. Great take, Kane Moody, under high ball. He's been extremely strong under it all day. He's a spicy meatball. You're right, says Zane. Now, Williams back across to Pollard. Vili LaRue goes on the outside to Sio Kolisi. Now gets it into the hands of Macha Zolima Pimbi, not yet 8 o'clock. In South Africa, we're enjoying a braai. And we have got, there go the box, here's Luke. And there's Jesper Visa, big chopping tackle from Jamie Ritchie. One more try here would secure the deal for the Springboks. Out wide, better Steph Toy, that is a forward pass from him. Oh, backwards off blue, they've said. I think it was drifting forward before it hit the Scottish player. But once again, the Springboks will have possession. Back to Andre Pollard, slinging past to Vili LaRue. Quick hands from Kolisi, misses the 2 targets. And now Scotland will have the line out throw. Siesta time later, Hamish. As usual, Scotland are bad. So here's James there. And we have got there, we need to try and make it clear. Win. So all questionable officiating can be cast aside. So here's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Who's the player of the match? I would... Yeah, see, that was going forward before it hit the arm of the Scottish player, I would say. But I would almost say Vili LaRue is the man in the match for me. Which I know, like, some people wouldn't agree with because, like, some people just don't like Vili LaRue. But I honestly would give it to him. I think he's had a really strong game out there overall. This man talks exactly right, Leroy. It's what we do. And now passing it back across to the left-hand side. Sione Tuipulotu going away to the left-hand side. Once more to Hugh Jones. Wide cut out pass. Can't find the hands of Duhan. Fundermerva. Quick throw taken by Kanan Moody. Flat pass, if not drifting forward back into the hands of Moody there from arm. Now around the side. Peter Steph de Toy. Malcolm Marks. Now going to Vincent Cock. This is a brilliant position on the field here for the Springboks. Grant Williams again. Goes off to Ebenezer Smith. Looks for the offload. Marks has to wait for it to sit back up for him. And South Africa State's the best team in the world. So here's Jimpanzee. It's a very creative name. And Mapimpi is the man of the match. Says massive. We'll just say the first half. What's this Aussie no? I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not from Australia. Now Argis Neyman again. Going forward. Now back to the right-hand side here with Ebenezer Smith almost busting through. 5 metres from the line. Williams, short ball to Vesa. This is the chance for the Springboks to really put the icing on the cake. Early tackle on Kolisi. Now short side. Peter Steph de Toy. Big shot on him by Xander Fagerson. No, in fact, sorry, it was Matt Fagerson, I should say. And the penalty goes again to South Africa. One of the worst performances of our beloved Springboks. If you are used to star performances, you'll never settle for anything less, says Florence. And we have got there, what do you do for work, bud? Says CX. So I normally work as a builder during the week, but then also on the weekends doing all of the streaming. Luckily, I don't think I'll be starting till the afternoon today, so I'll get a little bit of a rest, probably like 4 hours, something like that. Not a good weekend for the Northern teams, says Gerhard. And Springbok for the victory. And also we have got there, wish we were more competitive on Friday. Other than the great rugby weekend. Thanks for the stream, says Zero Connection. Thank you very much for your generosity. And we have got there, thank you for your YouTube, says Sarah G. Thank you very much for being here. And we are going to be back next week for the game up against England. We're also going to be trying to predict Rassi Erasmus's side for next week. So be sure to keep an eye out for that as well. Scotland played way better today. The Boks are back to the old-fashioned game, which is slow and boring, says Lunatic. But then when you think about it, right, we've got to look at this game from the outside a little bit and think Scotland are known for their fast-paced attacking rugby, using their backline with normally high precision. So the Springboks didn't want to play that same style. Why wouldn't they want to play the style that they knew would throw Scotland off their game and give them the advantage throughout this performance? Big scrum there. Only a metre short. Jesper Vesa is over the line. And that is going to be another try for the Springboks. We'll go like that. We'll go like that. I heard someone swearing in the background. I'm not too sure who that was, whether it was a Scottish player or a Springbok in that regard. But scoring with only 40 seconds remaining, it should almost get the job done now in terms of securing the scoreline. And thank you, says Hank there. And thank you for your commentary, greeting from Namibia. That is exactly the right tactic. It worked exactly the way in the World Cup. And what's the score, says Anthony? At the moment, it is 30 points to 15. You're great at commentary. Felt like I was there, says Patricia. Thank you very much. And we have got there, what will you be posting the game after this, says Earl? So we won't have the game, but there will be highlights on YouTube on another YouTube channel, the Autumn Nation series YouTube channel will have it. Is it over, says Russ? Pretty much. There's 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Andre Pollard using up as many seconds as he can, and he's got it over. And the score at the end of this one, 32 points to 15, the win for South Africa. They remain number 1 in the world rankings after an eventful weekend where we saw the Southern Hemisphere win pretty much every single game that they were a part of. Thanks for keeping me entertained with the happenings of the game. No worries at all. And like I said, we are going to be back next week for England versus South Africa, for France versus New Zealand, and a whole heap of other matches along the way as well. But anyone who is new, like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You'll get notified when we are live on the channel, which is often, normally every single weekend. We have at least a few. Thanks for the informative coverage. Thank you very much. May not have been pretty, but it's a win. Exactly right. And like I said, round halftime, if it's ugly but you still win, that's the main thing, and that's the signs of a good side. Like South Africa, they'll look at this game and there would have been, I would say, at least 5 to 6 different aspects of this game that they weren't happy with. The handling, in terms of a few of the times in the breakdown, they got it a little bit wrong. And just in terms of their decision making as well, just, it wasn't the same box side that we've seen. But, like we said, they got the win, a big one at that, 17 points. Probably doesn't completely replicate what happened throughout the game overall. It was a little bit closer than that, but overall just a solid enough game that they can take a few things away from it. We've seen some great players stepping up, such as, Willie LaRue, to be honest, as much as people don't like him, he had a really good game here. Makazole Mapimpi scoring himself the double. I think that in terms of the fullback, Etzebeth was good. Thomas du Toit, I think that the way that he played here probably gives him the spot in next week's game in the starting side, which of course we will be trying our best to predict on a video coming out in the near future. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. Scrappy, but we got there. Great coverage, Hamish, says Jane. And flattering score for us. But again, we won. And just look at that lineup. Well done, guys, says Marius. We've got Jerry in the chat has said, suck my balls as well. Very intelligent, Jerry, from yourself. And come on, South Africa, says Makanda. And also, thank you, young man. Your commentary is great. Bok on top, says Antoinette. That's awesome, says Manini there. And well done, the Bok. And there from Valerie as well. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Scotland could have been better. Part of that is Bok defensive intensity. But the passing could have been more accurate, says Gus. Yeah, I think Scotland started working out what they wanted to do in the second half. They started getting that backline functioning, and maybe if they had started that earlier, we could have seen a little bit more success for the Scottish. But South Africa's defence throughout this game needs a lot of credit. Same with Scotland's, though. Like, yes, Scotland conceded 4 tries, but they still made 89% of their tackles. Springboks having 79% of theirs made, which is about what they averaged throughout the Rugby Championship. And we love you, Hamish, says Shazza. And thanks again. I love you from South Africa, says Marlon. And best Scottish team, in my opinion, says Connor Beast. And also, we have got there the 5-3 attack, 7-1 defensive, says W. Van Vick. And nice try, Scotland, says Seppo. And there as well. But yeah, like, it's a decent way to close out the November Internationals weekend. Of course, next week, we're going to be back in action. Hey, Hamish, not bad for a Kiwi. I get that quite a bit. People often say, like, we don't like New Zealanders, but you're almost all right, and we don't hate you. So, like, I take that as a compliment. But yeah, these are all the games next week. Doesn't even fit with the players going across the bottom, but that is Wales versus Australia as that last game. These are all in New Zealand time, so pretty much for that first game, it will be a 10 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa on Friday night. But for that South Africa versus England game, it is a 7:40 p.m. kickoff. It's going to be a massive game, an epic one at that. England, they need to bounce back. Can they do it? Up against the world champs. They are talking with the man of the match, by the sounds of it, very soon. We'll just make sure that it is Makazole Mapimpi who did end up receiving that award. No, it's Evan Etzebeth, actually, who they've given man of the match to at the end. And thanks, Hamish. Appreciated. Hard-fought game. Proper rugger. I like the AB's game, says Anthony. And thank you, lovely peoples. Big loves, yo. And thank you for the commentary. Much appreciated, says Barry. And thank you very much for all being here. It is hugely appreciated. Like I always say, these streams aren't the same without you guys being in the chat, getting to talk about what has happened throughout the games and just getting opinions from everyone all around the world. It is absolutely awesome. And like I said, we're going to be back next week, another big week of the rugby world, but videos coming out all throughout the week as well, including that one in about 20 hours time, which is going to be that is going to be a prediction for that one of the Springboks lineup. That was a really weird sentence. I didn't quite get it out there. We have there pretty rugby, can't lose your game, or can lose your game, the winner's paramount, says Jeffrey. And we have there Etsabev, says Shaz, and Etsabev for man of the match. Yep. And I feel like that's the thing. Because Etsabev is such a great player, sometimes maybe his work goes underappreciated. Like he got a couple important line-out steals, made that tackle on Duan Funda Merva, who was breaking his way through. Do you want to build my house? It depends on where your house is, G. Brown. But, don't know whether I'm qualified, to be honest. I'm just an apprentice. And thanks, buddy. Almost as good as watching the real game. God bless this week and enjoy work today. Check you next week, says Marius. And thanks so much. Love the commentary as always, mate. And thank you, made my flight. Our box not playing great, but we take what we are given, says Ian there as well. Go buy your breakfast, extra bacon. Yeah, I have to decide what I'm going to have. It's currently 7:05 a.m. here in New Zealand, so it'll be worth maybe going and having a look. I don't know whether to go for something that's like a normal breakfast food or to go with something random, seeing as it's also kind of my lunch, seeing as I've been up for about 7 hours. So, yeah, it's probably a bit of both. I could do a brunch, but not really because it's 7 a.m. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one. Also, check out the post-match review that will be coming out in about 20 minutes' time.